Now, the recording is especially useful because then Noel could listen to it. Um, but to... You're fine, Chloe. But to bring us to a start, a lot happened last time, so I'm going to do some brief, quick review, just reminding you guys where we were at. You guys had gone to Hildegrant to pick up some supplies, mainly food supplies for the settlement, though there were also things such as weapons and tools, basic weapons and tools, metalworking, since you guys didn't have a blacksmith yet, and thus needed to bring that kind of thing in. While you were there, you bumped into a squadron of Iron Conscription soldiers being led by a captain who kind of explained to you guys the current situation in Hildegrant, what with the crack in the sky and the fire pouring out. And you guys began to learn about this form of planar magic that can occur, these faults that can happen and then cause these cracks in reality, and how these faults need to be kept under control, otherwise they can, cause danger and damage if they're not monitored and taken care of. I believe a metaphor had been made to you guys of pruning a bush, sort of. And apparently these faults on the other side lead to the astral sea, which is the space in between planes. And when the astral sea leaks through to the material plane, the quote-unquote water solidifies into clusters of crystal, which are called acerite, which are apparently magical. It's kind of unclear, but you guys met Yaz Solzote, who was apparently a sibling, of Nemesis, and who was assisting a sorcerer, Burst, in looking for this fault so that they could seal it together. You guys traded words for a little bit and realized several of your party were interested in this acerite for various reasons. Some out of simple curiosity, others because you needed it or wanted to know more about it. Where we last left off, you guys had been discussing whether you wanted to go home to bring the supplies back, or whether you wanted to search for the fault here, or maybe go home and search for a fault there, since Alice's crystals had been reacting back at the settlement as well. So I bring us back there. I'm pretty sure you guys had come to a decision to stay in Hildegrant for a little longer, where we left off, but of course I'm not going to lock you guys into that if for whatever reason you guys have changed your mind now. So what would you guys like to do?
I mean, Tori still wants to go back, but I know the decision was made to stay.
That's up to you guys. I just beg you not to split the party, please. You guys already have a smaller than normal party.
This is true.
I mean, now that we've had time to think about it, maybe we should go back, because there is a bunch of people waiting for us to come back with the
Yeah, okay, well, it's not going to take that long.
supplies. Just so we don't
I
fuck
like
everybody else over.
I like how all the people, most of the people who were in favor of staying in Hildegrant aren't here right now. So you guys can just decide to go if you want.
I am depressed.
To be fair, to remind you guys, Alice's crystals apparently get warm when they're close to a fault. They had gotten very warm in Hildegrant. They were also warm in the settlement, though they had gotten cold in between the settlement and Hildegrant. So presumably that would mean that there is another source, maybe closer to the settlement. Mm-hmm. So if you guys still want to look for crystals, you can bring the food back and look for crystals.
Yeah, I think we should look for the one closer to the settlement, considering that unchecked faults can become an issue. Maybe we should check out the one closer to where we live. as soon as
That's
possible.
true. Let's do it.
I think that makes sense.
Is Shoshin down for that too?
Jotion?
Sure.
What, Ned?
Sure.
Fair enough. All right. Coming to that conclusion, you guys get your wagon all sorted out. Make sure you have all the supplies. Say your last goodbyes once again. By now, Undertake has gladly gotten involved in other things, but you guys speak briefly with the captain, who just kind of, wishes you guys well. Says if you need any help, feel free to send a pigeon. That's up to you guys whether you want help from the Iron Conscription or not. But you set off. Undertake had responded in just last session. And you guys begin to head off into the woods. The journey back to where the settlement currently is just over a day, so you guys will have to camp in the woods about at the halfway mark. But you guys hadn't had any issues last time that happened, so hopefully, there will be a repeat of that. Travel is smooth. It's up to you guys whether you want to make any conversations, discuss what you guys found out, anything of that sort.
I think Megan's BRB, by the way.
Yeah.
I have nothing I want to discuss right this second.
Understandable. No, welcome back.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
All the characters are just slowly under their breath
Yeah.
saying "get into it," yeah, but don't know
Showed a
why.
classification of the party.
This is what happens.
Truly. But eventually you guys come to a stop. Just making sure, Megan, there aren't any conversations or discussions you want to have.
Do I have all my rocks? Did everyone give them back?
I believe so. I don't remember if Vilren did or not, but Vilren isn't here right now, so
Okay,
when Noel
so I-
gets here, we can double check on that.
Okay.
For now, I'll say that you did.
Okay.
We can always retcon later.
Okay.
But you guys settled down for the night. Who's keeping first watch and who's keeping second and third?
I'll offer for first.
Pop off.
Do whenever.
I'll do one too.
All right. Any preferences to order?
I'll go second or third, since
I can do whichever one.
Nemesis wants to go.
All right. Then I'll do this. Alrighty. Nemesis, your friends, companions, lay down for the night, or relax in whatever ways they need. And
Yes.
you are alone for a bit. Can you go ahead and make me a perception check as you are
Oh.
keeping watch?
We are still level 2, right? I'm checking my sheet is correct.
Yes.
Okay.
In
Perception I have
case.
+4. Yeah, just in case I need that juicy modifier. 16.
All right. Noel is awake and is coming.
Yay!
Noel just woke up.
Use.
But all right. So with a 16, you are, looking out into the night, keeping watch. There doesn't seem to be initially anything of note. Hold on. I can't spell. Um, yeah, there doesn't seem to be anything of note in the night. Um, there is like kind of a moment when you're starting to think like, oh, it's time to, maybe wake Tori up for her turn. Where you hear someone behind you shift and kind of like sit up in their like bed. And you glance over your shoulder to see that Quail is kind of like sitting on his bedroll and has like the heels of his palms against his eyes, just kind of sitting there for a moment.
Hmm. I guess I'll ask him what's up.
Go right ahead.
Oh,
Actually, on second thought.
um, everything okay?
Oh, he kind of glances over. Right. Everything is fine. Yes.
Can I do an insight check?
Yeah,
He's
sure.
possessed to kill him.
I'd love to.
You
No.
kill Saber's character while he's not even here.
No, of course not. Okay, my
Oh, my
insight's
best
only
friend.
+2, so hopefully this is a good roll. Oh, 17.
All right. He seems on edge. And it doesn't seem like a nightmare or something. It seems more like he hasn't been able to sleep. And has possibly just been like, staring into the dark the entire time. You know, that kind of vibe when you can't sleep and you just stare and dissociate.
Oh, okay. I'm going to say, have you been asleep?
No. A bit of a rough night. I would hate to trouble you.
I'm already awake, so trouble me.
You don't... I mean, I assume as a tiefling you have some magic, but you don't really cast spells, right?
Not many.
Right. My magic is a bit temperamental, one might say. The price of having death magic, I guess you could say.
Death magic?
Yes, I can occasionally hear the dead. Most of the time, they just have guidance. Other times, they just want to bitch and moan. Hello, Noel.
Hello.
I know.
I don't have my headphones on. I'm putting on hoodie.
You're all good.
Okay.
We're doing watch for the night right now. You are asleep. But that is what Quail says to you.
That's what he says. Have they been talkative this evening, or?
Yes, I have. From my understanding of what they've been saying, it's some of the people who, he like kind of jerks his chin back towards the direction you guys just came. I believe recently passed from everything that happened there. They're a bit confused.
Oh, can you speak back to them, or can you just hear them?
Sometimes I can speak back to them. It's more a question of if they're receptive to it, you know? And usually fresh deaths aren't. They're not always ready to be guided to the next step. Sometimes they need time to process, and sometimes they're never ready to go.
Can you seek out specific dead people to talk to, or is it just kind of random?
That's sort of more big magic than what I'm capable of. I've certainly tried You can kind of see a look across his face. But also, sometimes I've had spirits that just kind of latch on to me and won't leave me alone, even if I don't know them. In which case, those ones I can call to me. That's usually because they're about.
So they like follow you?
Yes.
Is there anyone
Hmm?
following you now?
One, but they are usually just quiet and just watch.
Hmm. um. You look tired.
Yeah, kind of hard to sleep when there's incessant wailing. Especially since they won't listen to me.
Oh, okay. I think Nemesis is gonna not respond to that, but can I use thaumaturgy to kind of make nature ambience around the tents so that maybe he can sleep better or something?
White noise.
Nemesis,
No, like
the white
nature
noise machine.
ambience.
Yeah.
No,
The
no,
fan. Like the bedroom fan.
no.
A
Like
hairdryer.
birds and wind and peaceful leaf rustling.
Yeah.
Thank
Thunderstorms in
you.
the distant sounds.
Nemesis, gosh, fuck me. Quail kind of looks, like, surprised for a moment. And, like, turns back to face his bedroll, but you can see, like, as he's turning, you can see, like, a little smile. And he's like, and he says, well, that's certainly something. You seem more of a flames and smoke type of person.
You know what? I'm just gonna nod.
He gives his respectful nod and wordlessly lays back down and hopefully goes back to sleep. Or at least goes to sleep, rather.
This is so sad.
And that's your watch. Crazy.
Wait, can I see if it helps him fall asleep or not?
As you go to like wake up Tori, you can like cran your neck over to see if he's sleeping. Go ahead and roll perception.
Yay. Okay. 18.
He does seem to be sleeping, and like his like in between his eyebrows have been like, you know, wrinkly, like scrunched up. But now it's smoothed out and he looks like he's actually resting now.
Excellent.
You go to wake up Tori, but before we get to Tori, let me grab something crazy. I forgot
Crazy?
to do that. Crazy, real, unbelievable.
It's the stats of the boss battle we're about to do.
True.
BBEG. What?
Yeah.
Tori, you're having a Tori, you're having a dream.
Oh no.
He's so sad he wasn't here for it. uh, but Tori, you're having a dream. And it's not an abnormal dream that you have. I'd say maybe you have this every couple months. You're in the woods and you can feel the thrum of energy in the air, and this feeling of building static before you hear a loud crack. And you experience in these dreams, you experience a memory from years and years ago. Always kind of lingering in your dreams. But today, the dream is different, which isn't terribly odd to happen, because sometimes dreams are a bit nonsensical and change up even if they're similar. But this is the first time it's been so... that the difference has been so crystal clear and feels so vivid in your mind and sticks in it even when you wake up. You dream of that cracking sound, and you look up to the sky, which is usually painted in all sorts of lovely myriad of colors, shifting like an eternal aurora borealis. But now all you can see is shattering cracks, spider webbing across the skyline, and then an impact as a devastatingly huge form just crashes through into your reality. And you watch as this huge creature falls towards you in this heartbeat slow motion. You hadn't seen this when this actually happened. You only saw the aftermath. But now you watch as black scales glitter as this creature reaches out towards the sky, wings torn beyond the point of flight, as a dying mother gives a last cry for her children. She doesn't have a thought for the village below her, for you, because she didn't know you, but she is solely focused on those she's been torn from, and is fighting with her last breath to return to them, to her home. And then, Tori, you're crushed by the dragon. And you wake up to Nemesis's hand on your shoulder, waking you up that it's your turn for watch.
What a fun dream.
Wow. Can I see if she looks disturbed or something?
That's up to
Or do I just not notice?
That's up to Chloe.
Is it my turn to watch now? Is everything okay at the moment?
Yes, everything's okay. Can I, am I able to tell that you're have had this dream or not?
Chloe, are you trying to hide it, or is it clear that you are shaken? If you are shaken.
Definitely trying to hide it, but Tori's not great at hiding things.
In that case, you can go ahead and roll deception. And Nemesis, you can roll insight.
Or only 12. Terrible.
Nemesis becomes a dream therapist.
Hell yeah.
Oh fuck!
What?
I rolled a 2.
Let's go.
No, to be fair, my deception is +1, so I rolled in that one.
Oh no!
Not one.
That's even worse.
Go.
Yeah.
The drive is about power. We devour.
So true.
So true. In that case, Nemesis, you can absolutely tell that Tori is very shaken.
Oh,
Nemesis,
okay.
haha, get good.
No.
As Laura, I'm in Nemesis's head. He's like, what is wrong with everyone tonight? But he obviously doesn't say that. He goes, are you okay, Miss Tori?
Yes, I'm absolutely fine. Oh, why didn't you go get some sleep? Is your bed set up? Would you like some help?
My bed's set up, thank you. And I'm gonna nod again, my signature nod, and I'm just gonna keep doing the thaumaturgy thing because I feel like everyone needs it.
Wait, what's the thaumaturgy thing?
Oh, I'm making like calming bird and like wind ambience so that people can sleep
I love it.
Dream
because everyone's
therapist.
stressed.
As you take
So I guess
watch. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say instead of sleeping, I guess I'll just stay awake to keep doing the spell for a bit.
I'm sure eventually you drift off.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
But yeah, because I still want you to get a full rest.
Oh, this is true.
White
Suck a
noise
clown.
machine. I love your nickname.
Support it.
But just to fill Nolan really quick, you guys had left Hildegrant and are at the halfway point camping as you guys travel back to the settlement, because while the group still wants to look for the crystals, you guys realize that because of the reaction Alice's crystals were having, that there's probably another source close to the settlement. So you guys decided to bring the food back and then go look for those crystals.
Yeah, I assumed as much, kind of.
Yeah. But Tori, you get up to take your watch. Is there anything you do as you go ahead and roll a perception check?
No, probably not.
Very fair.
Let's see. Okay, perception. 23.
Hey, oh, nice.
I rolled a 19 and I've got a +4.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Much better than deception.
You keep a good view out. And I will say, real quick, as a druid, if you wanted to switch out any of your spells, you can, of course, do so. Wow, it would be crazy if you took Speak with Animals. Anyways.
Well, it'd be crazy if
it would
I've
be
already got that.
Oh, crazy, Queen. I love that.
Crazy.
Crazy.
Crazy. I mean, Tori's probably just sitting there, kind of like leaning back on her hands and like kind of probably looking at the sky.
Mm-hmm.
And is just probably waving her hand a bit, just making a few flowers grow just to make herself feel better.
Mm-hmm. You slowly discern through the trees a little pat, pat, pat of slow footsteps. And at first, maybe you start to perk up. Is it danger? Is there something to watch out for? And then you recognize a little face that peeks out through the bushes to look at you. It's the cougar from before with the gray scarf kind of tied around its neck. And it kind of peers at you and like has its head ducked a little low and takes a few steps towards you.
I dip my head back and cast Speak with Animals.
At the lack of a negative reaction, she takes a few more steps towards you, tail low, starts to walk over to you, and you see some scratches along her side that weren't there 2 days ago. A day ago? I forgot. And she kind of slinks over to you, and she's watching you so closely for any form of negative reaction. But she slowly puts her head in your lap and lays down and hooks her big murder mittens over like your leg as you're sitting there, and just kind of like looks up at you.
I very slowly just lift my hand up, really slow so it can smell me first, and then start stroking
Ooh.
and ask if they are okay.
Her ears kind of perk up because, she could kind of understand you before because of your innate abilities. But it was more rough then, like she could vaguely understand you. Because of Speak with Animals, she can not only fully understand you, but also respond. So you see her ears perk up, and eyes widen a bit, and she replies to you. You can talk now?
Yes, I can. Are you okay? What's happened?
I was told to guard this area, and I have been guarding the camp. But my my partner has not come home. It has been a few days, and she said it would only be 2. But she has been gone longer than 2, and I tried to find her, but I can't.
What's camp have you been guarding?
She and her friends are looking for something, and they made a camp, and they split up and said that they would meet back at the camp where they left horses and food for me. And they said that they would meet back there, but they have not come back. One of the groups is far away, but I know that they're okay. They check on me. But my partner and her friend have not come back, and they're supposed to be back. And I tried to find them, and I got hurt, and I don't know what to do.
I want to cast Cure Wounds on them.
Alright, go ahead and roll. How much do you heal? A big meow meow.
Big meow. 7.
Hell yeah, I'll mark that down. Especially after being up close and personal with this cougar. Tori, you know from your time back home, you've met a variety of people. Mainly druids like yourself, but also fairly common in your homeland are rangers, who are kind of nature and survivalist specialists. And many times, especially in your homeland, they'll have animal companions. And taking into account this large cougar who, looking at her paws, her muzzle, that sort of thing, you can tell she is semi-accustomed to fighting. And from the scarf around her neck and the way she seems to imply, traveling with her quote-unquote partner, you would assume maybe this is a ranger's companion. It is very rare for a ranger to be out without their companion.
You're safe. You're safe here. You're safe with us. You can. But we've got some things to drop off to our camp. But if you would like, I can talk to the others when they wake up, and maybe they would like to help try and look for your partner.
Thank you. You live over on the hill, right, with all the people?
We do, yes. If you would like to, I mean, I understand if you want to go and stay where your partner said that they would come back to, but you can come with us, and maybe having more people to look for them would be more helpful, and that way you won't get hurt again.
The camp is very close to your home. My partner and her friends were worried that you all would get hurt, so they were watching just in case. But my friend is past your home. Went to a She seems to like struggle for the right word for a moment. A big hole. A big hole in the ground.
Big hole.
Big hole, not whore. With an L. Ravine, maybe? Wild. Anyway.
Wild.
My name.
My I'm trying to think what would be important to get now. What information is your partner? Are they a person?
Yes, two legs, like you. She has gray skin like that one, and a big murder mitten points towards the sleeping Erland.
Oh. Okay, listen, we aren't going to be able to talk like this for too much longer. There's a time limit on how long I can talk with you for, but if there's anything else important, you can tell me now, or once I've slept again, I'll be able to talk to you again.
Alright. It is alright. I am used to not being able to talk with my partner. I understand some when you speak, so it's better.
That's good. Just remember you're safe and you're safe, and you're very welcome to stay with us.
Thank you. She kind of shoves a big forehead against your hand and kind of curls her tail around you and stays lying with you for the rest of your watch. Like, this is a big cat and you're short. She's
Yeah.
very big compared to you.
Oh yeah, what's her name? I was too busy thinking about the big question.
She tells you that her name is Moon.
Okay.
Real?
I'm crying.
No! I spelled that wrong. Moon moment. But she stays curled up with you for what remains of your watch. Eventually it comes time to wake up Shoshin with a giant cougar at your side.
But I don't want to move. I don't want to wake him up if she's fallen asleep.
You can just call out to Shoshin.
Oh yeah, shout. Can I just try and
Like throw a
wait?
pebble.
No. Can I use my cantrip gust? I know it's not the way it should be used, but to kind of blow a little bit of wind to try and wake Shoshin up without waking anyone else up.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
Shoshin,
Just very gentle.
you're woken up with the wind kind of like brushing your hair about.
Yeah.
I would assume that Shoshin is a semi-light sleeper.
Extremely, yeah.
Yeah, you wake up to see Tori like sitting at the edge of the camp with a cougar curled around her.
I mean,
It is the one you guys saw earlier, but
yeah. Well, it's not that surprising then, I guess. She knows that, like, Tori's got the woodland stuff going on, so it's like, alright, cool, I guess. You just You've just befriended the mountain lion that's hanging around. All right, fair enough, I guess.
Fair enough. Go ahead and roll a perception check for me. Tori, I assume you're just falling back into your sleep/meditation, sitting there with Moon.
Yes. Oh yeah, yeah. Tori's just like curled right up, like in the middle of me, like in a little ball.
Very cute.
Ocean's just like, all right, well, big cat, I suppose. I rolled a 19.
Ayo.
Oh my god.
All right. You keep watch for what remains of the night. As sunlight slowly starts to creep over the trees and burn away the mist. It's uneventful. Thankfully, nothing else seems to bother you guys. And as morning begins to come, wow, crazy, 2-for-1 deal. Hey, Vilren. You also have a crazy. You also have a dream.
No, thank you.
Your dream is kind of indistinct. There's nothing really specific that you're seeing. Instead, you dream of this kind of like a dark space, not in like a scary way, but in like a my eyes are closed way.
I don't open my dream self eyes.
You dream of the smell of smoke. And
Hey, yo, homeboy.
Ayo. You feel the smoke kind of curl around you with this almost physical touch. And you breathe it in and it curls into your lungs, but it does not choke or make you cough, and instead feels like it belongs there, the smoke kind of wreathing around you, and you can see embers swirl around, and you feel warm, like a comfortable warm that kind of like emanates from within. And you Vilren is they he, right?
Yeah.
Okay, just checking the law.
At least for now.
Yeah. You hear a voice that kind of comes from the side, and it's a voice that is kind of rough and low, and they say, "You've done well so far."
Vilren's voice.
But I know you know this, but I need some of that crystal, that Acerite, as it's supposedly called. I am starving in Flame Grip.
You
Every...
didn't hear my voice.
Hmm?
I'm gonna practice my voice while you do
Oh,
this.
you can't talk right now.
Never fucking mind.
I am starving in Flame Grip. Every day, the longer I am without a body, I am suffering. And we are so close now. You know what I have promised you. And of course, what you have promised, but I'm not someone to punish. Vilren, I am simply in pain. But you bring me some Acerite, and you know that I have gifts for you. The power that you've asked for. And once I even have a body again, this little home you're making, and you see the smoke in front of you kind of coalesce into like a rough image of the settlement, of the circle of wagons and the buildings slowly being built. Once I have a body again, I can protect this little home you're making. I can bless your friends, too. And you see fleeting images in the smoke of your companions, your family. You see cloying images of warm hearths in this future thriving village that kind of swirls around you. People laughing and safe and having fun. And this circle of smoke around the village, hiding it from prowling enemies and danger in the dark. And he leaves you with that image. And you wake up to your companions starting to stir around you, get up for the day. And your hand is outstretched, resting in the dirt, kind of reached out towards the campfire. And your hand rests there as embers are littered across the back of your hand. But they don't hurt in the slightest. It doesn't hurt where your fingers are just inches from the coals. And that's how you wake.
Laura's a real homeboy. Sent me the fucking, literally like everything that he said into my DMs. I love you.
Wow, of course.
God, what an ally. I like when I saw the preview, I thought you were gonna about to say like, "Wow, someone this fucking deep low voice praising you. Good for you."
But you guys wake up. There is a cougar in your midst now, but
Yo.
Vilringa like wakes up like brushing themselves off and kind of like looks around like, okay, things are normal. Double takes. The cougar's here. That's the wrong voice. It's fine. I'll get
No, I
there.
love it.
It's okay, they're safe.
I was more excited if anything. I'm very excited that the cougar's here.
Okay,
Hello,
good.
friend.
Tori's definitely a little bit protective just because it was very hurt last night.
Can I pet the
That's
cougar?
fair.
Moon?
Moon kind of like gives a glance up to you as if to check, and then pads over to Vilren and gives a little head boop against the hand.
Everyone's like doing like silent scream like yeah, and just fucking like pets gently, do a little scratch behind the ears.
Their name is Moon. They got really hurt last night.
They don't look it.
Oh, I cured them a little bit. I think it helped.
Fair enough.
Oh, you
I
said
can't wait.
cured. I thought you said killed.
No,
Freudian slip.
never.
Oh, sorry, I
Okay.
don't have any more cure wounds, but hey, I remember if I lay down, motherfucker. I can't wait to tell Elsman that I pet a cougar.
I mean, Phil, do you think it would be okay if... I mean, I kind of said to Moon that Moon could come with us to the
He's
settlement.
going to love it.
Yes! Okay, that's good. No.
Why do you want to know, mother?
Laura wants to know Quail's mother's name.
Oh my god.
Quick question, Oliver. Because I went back to sleep, do I get spell slots back or no?
Yep, you get everything back. You're okay.
Sweet.
You will roll fully rested.
Woo! Yay!
That's what I'm talking about.
Hmm?
What?
What did Alice say?
Oh, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh, fair enough.
Oh yeah.
You know what?
Get into it, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, you guys continue your travel back towards the settlement. It's not that much longer, just a couple hours more. And then you begin the trek up the hill to where the majority of people are. The wagons are still there, though some of them seem to have been broken down for wood planks, supplies. One of the buildings is coming along pretty fairly, other than the longhouse, of course. But the farms seem empty, but that makes sense since they were out of crops and you guys had that. And as you all approach with the various supplies that you have, Maya steps out and sees you guys coming and immediately brightens up. Oh, awesome, wonderful. I was starting to get worried. I was kind of expecting you guys maybe last night or early this morning. But either way, I'm glad to see you all. How was Hildegard? Are they okay there?
They're trekking. Things are, Were they burning?
I mean, they were like hunkered down with soldiers and had sorcerers there trying to figure out how to close the faults, but...
Yeah, they got MPs taking over.
Yeah, lots of fighters, and research teams.
Ah,
Yes, the iron conscription was there.
Mm.
Oh, lovely.
Disgusting.
Is there something wrong with that, Vilred?
It's fine. We also have a bonus. We rode a cougar.
Oh,
We do.
hello, friend. Moon is just like staring at this giant bipedal cat with wide eyes.
You know those videos when the owners put on the cat mask? It's just pure fear.
Tori definitely looks at Moon in reassurance that, Maya's okay.
Moon doesn't seem freaked out, just like, oh, okay. Oh.
Just like, no.
Oh, and Tori would have filled on the walk back everyone in on what her and Moon spoke about. And
Very
probably would have
fair.
just asked them what they think. But yeah, we can get to that later.
Wait, Oliver, I'm just daring you a question quick.
Mm-hmm. I am excited for question. Yes. Yes, they are.
Okay, just checking.
Yes.
Alright, continue.
But which I'm sure makes him feel the type of way, but that's up to you. But Maya begins to direct some of the settlers to start unloading the wagons you guys have, starts distributing stuff, assigns some people towards planting the crops, and eventually
I'll plant the crops.
Hell yeah, you're gonna go help with the crops?
Yes.
Eventually Maya turns back to you guys. Alright, so, Esmond is a bit preoccupied at the moment. Crazy, it's almost like his player's in here or something. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
But, so, what exactly was going on at Hildegrand? Like, I know something that you all had mentioned last time with some sort of crack in the sky?
Did we not tell you what happened?
I had heard a bit, but I didn't, know the details.
Last time I got yelled at, kind of not yelled at, for bursting it out in the middle of the place. So do you want to,
Yeah,
walk somewhere where we're not in the middle of everyone?
of course.
I want to be responsible.
She brings you guys aside, like a corner in between two wagons that's kind of like, angled. Gestures for you to continue if you wish.
Little fire goblins came out of the crack in the sky.
No, I know about
Oh,
that.
you know that. Okay.
I meant, like, how that happened, what it is. Do you know
Oh,
at all, or
details.
you guys were told the details?
There was somebody there that talked about it. I look at the other people because I have 10 wisdom and intelligence, and I'm dumb.
Can I, like, ask Quail something quietly so that no one else can hear?
Yes.
What's your mother's name?
No, I promise this is helpful for the current conversation.
Mm-hmm.
You said I'm like whispering, I suppose.
Mhm.
Stage whisper.
You said, sorry,
Stage
should I
whisper. Sorry.
whisper? Oh, stage
No.
whisper.
Yeah, no,
Ah,
I was being dramatic.
No,
It's fine.
I'll stage whisper just for you.
Oh my god.
Um, you said, you said you could hear some of the dead from Hildegard. Do you have any? Maybe you could ask them what happened so we could tell Maya.
I mean, those were everyday folk. You know, villagers. They don't know the sciences and arcane whatnots that happened.
Not any of them.
No, they were farmers, you know, villagers. There's a kid. I mean, wasn't that explained to us by that Soul person and that burst lady, right?
Oh yeah, I just wanted to see if there was anything I missed. Apologies.
No, you're fine.
Cool. Just checking.
What I understand what happened, they don't know exactly how it started, I believe, but it was something happened and a crack in the sky opened up and the some plane with fire set out a bunch of things and caused the village to burn in part, I believe. There were some people from the Iron Conscription, I believe, that were brought in to do research on closing it or something, I think. But I think that's most of what we were told. Or, there were people that were there for that that could probably explain a bit better, but that's, I believe, everything that they told us.
Erland kind of awkwardly clears their throat. I take mercy on all of you. But Erland says, what had been explained to us? I totally don't know anything about this. But what apparently happened is the crack in reality occurred because there was a planar fault line nearby. Which various things that can happen. Sort of like a tectonic plate fault. They exist in places where the material of a plane has come thin. Hold on, I think someone's knocking at my door. Let me double check.
Uh-oh. It's just a red. You playing D&D?
Yeah, I'm on a
Excuse me, we're playing D&D.
Yeah.
So, how's
Get up,
the
hello.
adventures going?
Good.
Yeah,
I love me
mine's
some
working
adventure.
fine.
Yeah, I look at Nemesis. Wow, I love me some contact.
Thank you.
Some bonding.
Aha.
Fireworks. Good.
Initiate it, coward.
I am back.
Fireworks for you.
Have
Welcome back.
Hello.
Hello.
everything okay?
Yes. Apparently my roommate is having an issue with the internet, but hopefully no restart will be needed because it's working fine on everything else. Hopefully it's just the computer. But Um, where was I? Oh. But it's suspected that there is a planar fault there in Hildegrand. And planar faults cannot fully be sealed. They're part of the fabric of reality. Really all that can be done is to control them, to take care of them in the way one would, I guess you could say, like pruning a bush. That's not, of course, an exact one-to-one, since you can technically remove a bush. But with a planar fault, all you can really do to mitigate the issues that stem from it is to take care of it.
Like trimming your hair.
Yes, certainly like that. But they had two specialists there who were working on locating the fault and doing what they could to control it by way of looking for what they called acerite, which is a crystal that is a byproduct of fault lines. And acerite is a very valuable resource. So from what I know about those people, and I don't know much about them, but they
Certainly.
the acerite is very valuable to certain types of casters who are able to utilize it in various ways. So it is a very useful and valuable resource. So they will likely do what they can to not only control that fault line, but also to harvest from it.
So,
Lots
didn't
of
they
them.
also, I'm pretty sure they also mentioned knowing someone in the sense of Erland. So, can I make an insight check about them stating, like, oh yeah, I definitely don't know those guys?
Yeah, go ahead. Erland doesn't have the greatest deception.
Good.
Oh, well, I rolled a nat one, so
Oh,
yeah.
no!
7, let's get it.
Yeah, sorry, you don't... Erland totally doesn't know them.
Fair enough.
Fucking L, dude.
But
Thanks.
Maya nods a bit at the explanation. Huh, well, that's certainly something. That's not my area of expertise in the slightest, but I'm glad that they've got someone there who's taking care of that then. Sounds like something scary. Wouldn't want to deal with one of those.
Everyone just laughs.
The party awkwardly laughing and looking at Alice's bag of crystals.
Literally.
But I'm gonna get all of this sorted out over here. Thank you for the help. Once Esmond is free, I'll send him your way if you want to chat, or if there's something else you guys want to do, or just relax, or whatever. I'm sure you guys have had a stressful couple days.
I think we're gonna go scavenging hunting.
Oh, exciting.
Yes.
And she leaves you guys to your own devices.
Alright, let's get this grind on for these rocks.
Are we
Okay, so Tori's probably gonna ask how everyone feels about trying to find this lost ranger and her friends.
Oh, right. Oh,
yeah.
Tori didn't mention that before. Did we just steal somebody's cat?
Well, I'm pretty sure she's here for her own volition.
Did we bribe a cat to come with us?
No.
Okay.
I asked Moon if they'd like to come with us, and they said yeah.
Okay.
I mean, they didn't especially suggest, but I said they could come with us, and they have come. So
We're assuming that it's okay. So what happened with the friend again?
okay, so her part. their partner has disappeared and meant to be back. She was meant to be back a couple of days ago, and isn't. Moon went to try and find them and just got really badly hurt. I don't know how.
Oh, that's not good.
But apparently they went. Their camp is not far from here, which was what Moon was guarding, and the partner's gone off, said that they'd be back in 2 days, and hasn't been back.
Alright.
And I would really like to help Moon get back to her partner.
Hate to.
So, did she give any indication of where her partner was going?
She's said it's going towards a big hole.
Hmm.
Big
Well-
hole.
And it's apparently not too far from like just past the settlement. It's not crazy far, and I thought maybe when we're on the way there, maybe we could use the crystals and maybe find the fault at the same time.
Well, if we are looking to do that, it might make sense at the same time to consider the fact that the faults themselves are also giant, dangerous holes. So it's possible it could be one and the same.
It could have been what they're looking for in the first place. Moon doesn't quite know what they were looking for. They were looking for something, and that's all they know.
Well,
Did
it's
she use the words
possible.
big hole exactly, or
Yes. Moon didn't know the word for it. And I didn't understand it either.
how does ravine sound to you?
Crazy.
Ravine sounds like
sure.
a long big hole.
That's what she said.
If you
I'm sorry.
if you recall the amulet we took from that wolf which we recently buried, I'm sure you'll remember the word being mentioned perhaps unfavorably in said note.
It was some favorable and some bad.
Well, this is true. The line "my own body is turning against me" comes to mind.
I mean, it literally
See.
says the ravine helped so much.
Sounds like brainwashing.
Not shun the non-believer.
Shun the non-believer. No, so if we are to head in that direction, I think that we should be have our wits about us, essentially.
Totally.
Sense.
It sounds good to me.
Good is perhaps an overstatement.
Well, as good as it's going to get.
I just want to get Moon back to their partner, to their companion. That's all.
And I agree. I just think we should go in as big a group as possible.
Yes. And like I said, it's a high likelihood that these are going to be the same places that we're trying to go to for each of the respective things we're trying to check out here. So it may be good to approach it in that sense. If we're going into this thinking it may be something that could have caused the disappearance of these people, that may be easier. And it's better to keep, like you said, Nemesis, our wits about us in that sense.
What do you guys think of that?
I think it's reasonable.
I think it's reasonable.
Very well. What time is it at this point? Like, it's probably not too late, is it?
Yeah, I'd say it's like maybe just before 12.
Fair enough. Then we probably have time. Do we have any kind of like bearing? I mean, I'm aware we have the crystals that we can play hot and cold with, but have there been any like surveys done of the surrounding area?
That would
No,
be a
but-
question for Powell, because Powell had stayed here to scout.
Oh,
And also, wouldn't Moon know the rough, like, kind of the direction?
She had told you that she didn't know exactly where to look. She had tried to
Yeah.
go look and couldn't find them.
Okay.
well, it may be good to ask Powell to try and get some kind of starting point at the very least in terms of like where we should go, and then from that we can try and use the crystals to check temperature and that kind of thing for proximity to what we're trying to find here. Should it be another rift?
Oh yeah. So you guys go to find Powell?
I think so.
Wow.
I think so.
Crazy, look at that. Powell has come back from his scouting to get lunch. Luckily, you don't have to search the woods for him.
Oh
Thank goodness.
He has gotten like a loaf of the new bread you guys brought back with you, and he's very happily munching on it, and perks up when he sees you guys. Does like a little tail shake to clear off the crumbs and comes running over. Hey, hi. How was your trip? How was it cool? Did you see anything cool?
Who
We have a cat now.
with a cat now?
Oh yeah,
It's a
cat.
big cat. He's like already bending down and like doing the hold out the fingers for the sniff and then scritching under her chin. She's very happy. I love cougars. I've seen them a few times, but usually they're not quite this excited to spend time with people.
Right?
Her name's Moon.
Oh, hello there, Moon. You're so pretty, aren't you? He gives her more scritches. She's very happy.
With your you stayed behind to scout while we were out getting supplies, correct?
Yeah, I've been working on a map. I just passed it to Dad earlier.
Oh, that's great. Did you happen to find any kind of ravine or large hole in the surrounding area?
I mean, there's a lot of gorges and stuff like that, but nothing crazy huge. I did find the edge of like something that looked long and deep, but it was just like the edge of it. And I'm mainly scouting around looking for things that can be useful to us easily enough while we're still, starting out. And the landscape in the area was quite intense and thick, and Father asked me to not go too far, so I marked it on the map as a place to check out later, but I didn't, go inside it. I'm not supposed to go too far. Yet. Working on that one.
Soon.
Soon.
Yes.
Which
Why?
direction was that in?
Oh, it was about roughly, northeast of here, kind of like points in a vague direction.
Was it far? How long were you walking to get there?
Took about 3 hours to get there, I'd say, if you're walking like straight from here to there.
We could make that today.
Good. Do we think that sounds like the right place we want to go to?
I mean, and if it ends up being the wrong place, I suppose it's anyway, not a huge loss.
We can always keep checking on it with the crystals and stuff too. if we're going off of the assumption that proximity makes them hotter.
Yes.
That's true.
So as we continue in that direction, it should be easy to tell if that's the place that we should be going.
Yes.
Quail is like listening with perked ears. You guys are looking for something. Something with rocks.
Mm-hmm.
Can I come?
I
Weren't you
don't
told
think-
not to go there?
You paused. That sounds like a yes to me.
But didn't
Hmm.
tell you not to go?
Yes, but if I'm going with adults, I'm sure it's okay. And Dad's busy. He doesn't have to know.
It might be better.
no, go on.
It might be better to ask your father.
I could show you the way.
He could.
No.
He should come with us.
Mhm.
But
I do.
the problem is, I do not want the responsibility should something happen to
I'm
you.
so capable, Shoshin. I'm so
I know.
skilled.
I know you are highly capable. However, the problem here is your father is directing things here, and it would be most unfortunate were we to be on his bad side and something were to happen to you here.
No.
And also, Powell, it's not going to be that interesting. We're just taking Moon here back to her companion, and that's all.
True. Maybe next time?
We could go. Yeah, we could go on a
Fine.
trip next time.
You guys are such spoil sports.
I tried. Because I'm the cool uncle.
True.
Well, I give Velron a little shove.
And
Why? What did I do?
I tell you what, Pal. What if I, to apologise to not letting you come with us, why don't I fill out part of the map? Because we'll be going a little bit further than
Yes,
you did.
here, I have map paper. And he pulls out some, like a large scroll of paper and gives it to you. I know you probably, I don't know, maybe you do know how to fill out maps. But if you want, you can just make like rough notes and stuff in like vague shapes, and I'll do all the fancy details. I like to draw the little trees.
I'll let you do all the fancy details.
Yes.
Do you want a shiny rock?
This feels like you're talking down to me, but also shiny rocks are very cool.
Right? Shiny rock is there.
Unfortunately, we have no shiny rocks. Oh, sorry.
Like,
But we will find you one.
yeah, like when Vilgren was more insinuating like bring back a rock.
Oh, yes, this is true.
Yes, this sounds ideal. But yeah, it's that direction. I can grab you a compass if you want.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'll go get it. And he scampers away to go and fetch his compass from his pack and bring it back to you guys.
Wow, I love him.
Passes it over. There's like some scratches of words on the back, and it's well loved, but he passes it to you guys. It was a gift, so take care of it.
Okay.
We will.
But you guys are free to head off if you want. I will remind you, you guys currently have Erland and Quail with you guys. If you guys want to swap them out for anybody else, feel free.
Isn't Ames with us? Isn't
Yes,
Ames with us?
sorry. It's Quail, Erland, and Ames.
Can we only bring those two, or can we add someone else?
You guys can switch out Erland and Ames
Oh.
for other people, if you want.
Ames do be a paladin though. We do have a
True.
paladin, wait.
We have a
We already had a paladin. But thanks.
But more healing!
That's true.
More healing is always good.
Yeah.
I'm just attached to my best friend!
Haven't seen my friend in 10,000 years.
You can
We
switch
just
out
always-
Erland if you want.
No, we need Erland, I think.
Teehee.
We make them work for what we need.
You need the fancy word guy to do stuff for you.
Of course.
Really.
I mean, I suppose you guys can switch out Quail if you want. I just don't know how long you guys will be at this place. Like, say, if you're still there next session.
It'd be a
And
little awkward.
Savior
Quail
wants to
suddenly
play.
appears.
I think we keep Quail.
Quail
I
just
love
appears
seeing
out of
Quail.
the void.
You
Hey
fuckers
guys,
left
what's
me.
up?
Hey guys, what's up?
I
It's
guess this
Boy.
group is fine then. The group that we have.
Hell yeah. Alrighty then.
Alrighty.
Do you guys set off?
I think.
Can I set off to the bathroom for 2 minutes?
Yeah. If anyone needs to go to the
Piss
bathroom,
boy.
pop off.
Yeah. BRB.
BRB.
Wild.
Real?
Truly.
Every time I get an email, I go feral, but it's never the emails I want.
No, it's not the cat email.
It is not.
The what?
Oh,
Oh.
Yeah, I was talking about how I was trying to get a cat. No responses, so sad.
L. I'm sorry.
Truly. Ay.
What kind of cat?
Nothing specific because I'm broke. Just, a cat.
I respect that.
Like a
Mhm.
guy. Yeah.
Yeah, a little guy.
A dude.
I feel like you need an orange cat. I feel like that's the kind of spice you need in your life.
Honestly.
I mean, the one I'm trying to get off of Craigslist is orange, but the two that I applied
The young
for,
little man.
the two that I applied through the shelter are both black because I love black cats.
Charles, my boy, my son.
Truly.
Goodbye, Savior.
Hello, I'm back.
Welcome back.
Welcome back, piss boy.
Wait. Before we go, I just
What?
remembered something. Can I go speak to Lucius real quick?
Yeah.
Oh my god, amazing. Okay. Lucius.
Yeah? What's up?
So, whilst I was gone, I came across, you'll never guess, unless you want to guess.
A snake.
No, I came across yours.
So a snake.
Well,
that's,
sort of.
That's exciting. What are they doing so nearby?
They were just doing some work, but really my point here is they told me to tell you that they miss you and you should write to them more.
Oh, yeah, sure, I can do that. I mean, I had been writing some reports and stuff, but yeah, I'll write to y'all specifically.
I think that they would appreciate that.
Yeah, totally.
Anyway, cool, bye.
God, me too.
He like watches you for a second, goes, are you going out again?
Well, unfortunately, I think we're going... Listen, I wanted you to come with, but they said we had too many people.
I mean, if you guys want to bring another NPC with you, you can. It's just more people to keep track of.
Oh, can we bring Lucius?
Yes, you can bring Lucius if you want.
Yes. Come
Everyone's so
with.
attached to their NPC, man.
Everyone just there holding the hand of their emotional support NPC.
Literally.
Oh, well, want to come with? We're going to stare into a big hole in the ground.
Mine's a child, I can't bring them.
I mean, you can if you
Yeah,
want. I mean, Powell literally asked to come, and the rest of the party was like, "No, we don't want to make your dad angry." Auntie Alice can break the rules if she wishes. But Lucius kind of like tilts his head. Big hole, huh? Well, I suppose I'd be useful for that, and kind of rolls his shoulders, stretches out his wings. You know, could be useful for holes. Oh no! No! I paused the recording. Let me resume the recording. There we go, crazy. Is it resuming? Yes, it is. Lovely. Who'd we lose?
Oh, Nola's resetting their internet.
Ah, understandable.
So we lost
I'm muted.
Savior.
I'm
Oh
here.
no.
Oh, hello.
Had Savior and lost Savior while I was gone. This is so sad.
Oh, ping is so much better now. Amazing.
Hell yeah. Hopefully, my internet won't go out again, but we shall see.
Fingers crossed. Oh
Uh,
god, the grind for 30 levels.
where were we? Where did you
I was
guys
just
lose me?
asking. I was
He
just
wants to come
asking
with us.
Lucius to come with.
Ah, right. Lucius made a joke about being useful because he has wings.
Oh yes, we didn't hear that.
Very
Run
fair.
it back.
He had made a joke about being useful because he has wings and it's a hole.
Oh. Yes.
True.
Quite right.
He's absolutely right.
He is.
You guys don't trust Alice with a little bit of rope?
True.
Oh.
You guys repel
Perhaps-
down.
The rope works with the wings, maybe as a duo.
True.
Ooh.
Helicopter style.
Helicopter,
Yes.
helicopter.
We winch into the ravine.
Exactly. But yeah, he gets his stuff, hurries out to join you guys. And I'm assuming you guys set out towards the ravine? Or at least the
Yeah.
direction you were given.
Map.
Alright. You guys don't have an actual map, you have a map to fill out.
We're going northeast.
Yeah, you were given the northeast direction, given Pal's personal compass, which was apparently a gift. And you guys are off.
Amazing.
It's a bit of traveling. It's supposedly about a 3 hours walk. Moon keeps going ahead a bit and then circling back to you guys. She seems very anxious to get back to her partner. But as you guys travel, the forest is slowly getting thicker and thicker. Not at first to an intense degree, just, you're getting deeper in the woods, there's more underbrush, more trees twined together. And then, the forest gets darker. Not in an inherently creepy way, but in the canopy is thick, the moss is thicker. There's mushrooms starting to peek up along the tree's roots. It's not scary. It's more a very intense, thick forest, with very little light peeking through the leaves and the branches. And the further you guys go, the more there's butterflies in the air, an occasional glimpse of a fox chasing something through the roots. And just like the air is seeming more and more laden with this thick, earthy smell. And like, Tori, you especially, this is like getting very intensely like your home, where the trees are like nearly 100 feet tall, where everything is so like peak fantasy forest, Yeah, and this forest is starting to become more and more kind of akin to that. Not quite as large, not quite as old, which makes sense. But it is definitely very strongly reminding you of home. And from the arch of Erlin's eyebrow, when they glance down at you, they're probably thinking the same.
I probably feel like everyone else probably knows that because she's in terrain that she's more familiar with, that she's probably walking like closer to the front of the group, or even maybe like a meter or two ahead. rather than like sticking to like the middle or back like she normally does.
Mm-hmm. Very fair. Very fair. She's more excited.
Eat.
Yeah. And I need you guys to either some of you can make this check, if for any reason any of you don't want to, or you can all make a perception check as you start to get closer. And Alice, are you putting your hand in your bag of crystals, your crystal healing bag?
Oh yeah.
Crystal.
Are we gonna split up the?
Gonna check the
Crystals?
heat.
No.
Okay.
So you're not checking the heat, or not splitting the crystals?
Oh no, I'm checking the heat.
Okay.
I'm not splitting it though. They're mine.
Very fair.
Finders keepers, losers weepers.
Oh my god.
And then,
Is this a perception check you said, Oliver?
yes.
Okay.
Fondling my rocks.
Truly. Alrighty. So between a 16 and a 17, you guys start to notice that while the moss here is very, very thick, the ground directly underneath the moss, which you can see in various small patches and edges, is very rocky. It looks like this isn't a place where moss would normally grow very well. This doesn't seem like an environment where trees would normally grow this well. It looks like this is a very, once upon a time, might have been a very rocky, craggy place. There's a lot of gorges, like Powell had described. There's a lot of ups and downs and small edges and smaller cliffs. Cliffs in the loosest of sense, it's maybe like a 6-foot drop off of them. But once upon a time, this might have been a much more craggy area, very loose rock filled. But now there's moss and trees and butterflies and fireflies, and it's like greenery has overtaken what might have been a place with very little vegetation. And Alice, as you fondle your rocks,
Yo,
Yo.
get to it.
Yo.
as you fondle your rocks and try to gauge their temperature, it has been warm since the settlement, and it is definitely getting warmer and warmer the closer you get to this place. And about now, you'd say it's about the same heat that it was in Hildegrant. So initially you're like, oh, we must be close. But it just keeps getting hotter. It just keeps getting stronger. And maybe that's because you didn't get close. Presumably you didn't get close to the fault in Hildegrant. Or maybe the air here feels expectant. Tense in a way that it's like almost holding its breath for something exciting. And while the air did feel sort of laden with magic in Hildegrant, it was to a lesser degree, that is for sure. And Alice, you specifically, because I'd say this is a type of magic that you're most in tune with, especially after handling your rocks so often and knowing what they feel like. It's this thrumming, this like faint thrumming in your blood, this nudge that is pulling you on. And you recall briefly, you hadn't understood it at the time, since it was in a different language. But with its dying words, that man, wolf, had said something about something it called the call. Referred to it protecting it. And you understand now why this place might have been referred to as the call. You feel it. Not pulling you in like a way you couldn't ignore. You would absolutely be able to. Right now, the second, turn around and walk away. It's not like sucking you in some mind control way, but you can definitely feel this urge, this draw, in a way of like curiosity, almost this inherent like spiritual curiosity. Yes, exactly. And that seemed to be its dying breath, like maybe it thought because it died, the call must have forsaken it. But yes. And that is what you guys sense. And then through the trees, you start you start to see this dip in the moss. And then the dip gets deeper. And it gets wider. And it starts to become this crack, this ravine, I guess you could say. Yeah. But something else becomes clear as you guys begin to approach it. Closer, maybe, than Powell had gone. You see something through the trees.
Oh god.
A structure becomes clear.
Lord.
A building. What once might have been a building. It's small. It's one story. Looks like once upon a time it was a simple home of a simple family, a homestead, one might say. And it's old. And there is a large tree that seems to emerge from the middle of the building, curling up out of the roof and then around the building in this loose circle, almost this kind of loving embrace, almost, this tree. But the building is still semi-intact, it seems. The tree seems to have protected it from the worst of the wear and tear of time. And it sits there, maybe, I'd say 20 odd feet from the edge of this ravine. What might have once been a home. But what would you guys like to do?
Vilburn kind of like looks at this home and kind of like, do you think that's where the wolf dude lived?
It's a possibility, I would say.
Oh no, bro.
Is there, or would we be safely able to like get over towards it?
Yeah, totally. It's not like in the middle of the ravine or anything.
Oh, so we can go in.
Yeah, it looks like it was built next to the ravine. Yeah, you can grab a rock. Like one of your special rocks or like a floor rock?
No, like a regular rock.
Yeah, sure. You have a regular rock.
Okay.
It has a lot of moss on it.
Pants. Nice.
Yum.
Yeah,
Slug moment.
That in my pocket, yeah. For spell components.
Let's go. I guess let's go in.
Yeah, can I, if everyone's okay with it, I'd like to throw a rock into the hole.
Into the ravine?
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
sure.
ravine, because how deep is this motherfucker? I'm gonna sit there, and then I'm gonna, like, put a hand dramatically around my ear.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, listen.
You get to the edge of the ravine. You can't sense the other edge of the ravine, but the others tell you that at this top part, it's maybe, like, 25 feet wide at its thickest part that you guys have found so far.
Okay.
But you take a rock, and you chuck it down, and you hear it clink, 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 back and forth. And Alice, you're pretty experienced with rocks, so you can tell from the sound of this fist-sized rock impacting with the sides of the ravine, that this ravine is largely made up of shale, which is a layered, rather crumbly rock. Very commonly, ravines happen because of shale. because it's so crumbly that if there's like a cavern or something underneath the shale, that it slowly crumbles inwards and makes a ravine such as this. So it seems like it might be difficult to, like, by hand climb down unless there is, like, carved out stairs because shale is so crumbly. Or, you know, you guys could rappel down or something of that sort. It's fairly deep. I would not say absurdly so for a ravine. You've definitely seen ravines this size, but it's maybe like, I'd say like 150 feet deep. Guessing from the sound of the rock pinging back and forth. I would make anyone else make a roll for that, but Alice is rather experienced with rocks and mining
Fucking
and
knows.
depth. Yeah, this is
Oh,
probably
Chloe,
something you've
that's-
done many times.
Right.
For us,
so
that's 46 meters deep.
Yeah.
that's pretty deep.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't send it. All right.
You can't just jump.
Alice isn't even gonna like talk to anybody, and she's already like taking out her fucking rope.
Does anyone see any good trees?
There's a really
There
big
is one good one.
Yeah, there's a really big, strong-looking one.
Great.
Think I could tie my rope around it and
Curled around a
Jump in.
building.
Weren't we gonna go to the building?
Are we gonna go in the house?
oh great, there's a house.
Oh yes, there's a house there.
Alice can't see this. I'm so
Yeah,
sorry,
she's
Queen.
fucking blind. No one told her there's a fucking house. She's just in it for the hole.
I mean, technically we could just like, since it's so nearby, you could be starting to get ready to get down, and while we quickly survey the house.
It's true.
2 birds, 1 stone.
Yeah, I'll keep watch.
She already threw the stone.
Can we leave Alice on watch?
Yeah, I'll be fine. Don't worry about it. I'll yell if I need help.
You've got ears. You're perfectly
I'm
capable.
not sure we should keep someone that cannot see fully as the only person on watch.
Yeah,
The
Shosha.
wizard. The wizard who cannot see.
Perfect.
Send him alone. Figure out what the fuck this hole's about.
They'll never see it
Lucius,
coming.
Lucius will join you in keeping watch and kind of like help you find a good place that's secure enough to tie the rope and stuff.
Nice.
He can also
guys won't
help
be
if she falls
long.
in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's
I'm
got
gonna get
wings, so
FOMO.
he can grab you if you get too close to the edge.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Alright, so Alice, you get busy tying knots, figuring that out with Lucius, keeping watch, and the rest of you approach this house.
Alice is gonna get FOMO.
This house looks like it was once like a humble cabin. Not awfully made, but not necessarily like an expert either. It was in all honesty, it looks like a single family homestead. Looking around you guys, you can see very, very faint, like low cobblestone walls. Maybe that was once a garden. Maybe once upon a time there was a fence, a pen with animals. Maybe once there was a field. It's too hard to tell now. So much time has passed. Tori, I'd say specifically with your know-how of growth of plants and how that might deteriorate certain materials, you could probably make a safe guess and say it'd be roughly 20 to 22 years that this place has started to be overtaken by nature. Maybe since it was last taken care of, stuff cleared away, that sort of thing. The house itself is, while, covered in moss and visual damage, the actual structure is surprisingly well kept together for that amount of time, with its quality. But you'd almost attribute that to the tree that is curled around it. I actually have an image. That's not exactly the tree, but kind of like the vibes, Oh boy, I'm in my Minecraft screenshot folder. This is the wrong folder. Crazy. Minecraft moment?
Minecraft moment? Real?
Real? Where's my...
Real.
There's my reference image folder. There's the tree. Kind of this sort of vibe. Curled, but not
Nice.
a spooky looking. It's a healthy tree. It's
A healthy tree.
yeah, it's curled like around the side of the house and then kind of straightens up over the top and has its canopy kind of almost guarding this house from the weather. The door though is still accessible. It's kind of hung open a bit at an angle. Not a lot of damage to the door or anything, just kind of left there over time. Do you guys want to go inside?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
Awesome.
Fuck no.
sure.
Does Villarun wait outside as the others go in?
Oh, absolutely not. Are you kidding me?
Fair enough. All right, you guys enter in. Who's going first?
Can I
I'll
go
go
first?
first.
Oh,
Yeah, go ahead. You got it.
sure.
Yes,
I'll
I'm the
go
rogue.
first.
Hey, he asked.
Okay. Yes.
All right. You enter the house. The door. You get the feeling maybe the door would creak if there wasn't so much moss and dampness in the like hinge. So it's kind of muffled by the moss, but you open it. And you see what was probably once a family's home. There's an old table that's a bit tilted, some crumbling chairs from time, a small, humble-looking kitchen. Looks like there's 2 doors, maybe to bedrooms. Notably, the tree, which you can't see the trunk, but from where it came out of the roof, you'd guess it comes out of one of the bedrooms. Both of the bedroom doors are kind of slung open a bit at an angle, much like the front door. Most of the belongings of this room look like they've been destroyed by time. You know, not a lot of these things are made to last, except maybe a pot here, a pan here. There is one, what looks like maybe once it was a painting on the wall, but it is so destroyed by mildew, you can't really make out much other than that. It was once 3 figures, maybe akin to the carving on the locket. Though there is some writing carved into the wooden frame, that is clear to see. I'm gonna grab the names. And it says, I will copy and paste this for you guys into info.
Ew.
It says Dara, Emmett, and Withil, Hinmand.
Not ideal.
Presumably, from what you guys have found, Withil was the wolf person you killed.
Can
I feel bad.
L.
Is Quail here?
Quail is here, kind of lingering, looking about, taking in the sights, much like you guys.
Can I ask him if he's sensing anything similar to what we discussed before?
Spirits? Kind of seems to concentrate for a moment. There is something lingering here. I would say 2 somethings. One, I would say, is dead. However, it's at rest. It's peaceful. It kind of... like a light of understanding comes across his face. It's, what we encountered before. It's at peace and happy to be home again. He is happy to be home again. The other one isn't dead, I would say, but its body is gone. It is also at peace, though, and it is guarding this place. He kind of glances towards one of the bedrooms and some small roots that emerge from the room. And he gestures towards it in there.
Can we go into that bedroom?
Yeah, you and Quail enter, and you see what once might have been a master bedroom. There are some, there's like a bureau in the corner. Not well made, but serviceable. Some shelves with old mildew clothes on them. And there is the full-size bed. But coming out of the bed, emerging from the center of it, is the tree trunk. It has overtaken most of this bed, but it emerges from it like that is its home. And he points towards the tree. That's her. She's not talking to me. I don't know if she's quite dead enough to talk to me, if that makes sense. I only speak to dead things. She's not quite dead.
Cool. Can I have a look around, see if there's anything else hidden information, or is that essentially it?
Roll an investigation check.
Yo, I have +4.
Hell yeah.
21.
Hell yeah. Investigating, you do note, on the floor, grooves of time. Probably nothing recent. But once upon a time, something might have lived in this room that was large. Maybe, going off of the footprints, maybe a bit disjointed. With long claws. But whatever it was, left a while ago. Not quite 20 years ago, but you'd hazard maybe more like 4 or 5 years. Like, say, a wolf-like person.
Okay, I guess I'll fill. I mean, I guess everyone's walking around, but I'll fill everyone in.
Oh, I will note, there is one other thing you notice.
Ooh.
The knots and curls of this tree, the way the bark folds together right above the bed, kind of reminds you of a face with the eyes closed.
Oh, Jesus.
That's so cool.
The two different
reminds-
responses.
Wait, when you say reminds me of a face, do you mean reminds me specifically, or just resembles a face?
In general. Like a face.
Oh, right.
Not like a specific one.
Ooh. Yeah, I guess I'll fill everyone in.
Can I go see the tree?
Yeah. You.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, could I look where the tree is coming from?
Yeah, it's coming from the bed. And the way the roots are, the thickest, the oldest roots are laid out, kind of like maybe once they enshrouded a person-size thing. But the roots since then, more thin and spindly, are spread out across the rest of the bed, kind of cradling it. Tora, you enter the room, and there is this immediate thrum you can sense. Nature magic, very intensely. Definitely reminds you of home. Very strong. You wouldn't quite say fey magic, not that type of nature, but so intrinsically wild.
Can I make a nature check or something?
Yeah,
Put
sure.
my hand on the tree, make a nature check. Okay. Plus 3. 14.
Nice. You put your hand on the tree and remind me, your ability where things can understand you, that applies to plants too, doesn't it?
Let me double check.
Thanks, Oliver. That's horrifying.
It's not. She excels in nature magic.
Oh, I know. Just like, what is this tree gonna tell us?
I can't see.
Let me pull up your sheet.
Wait, is it primordial? Wait, no.
No, I think it's. Hold on. This.
It's not primordial.
Is it druidic? No, because I think that's only written.
Hold on. Let me pull up your sheet.
But Sylvan is only for animals.
No, it's not your language. It's. Let's see.
Circle of the Shepherd
racial.
things.
Oh.
I thought it was a racial thing.
I
Where's.
love Circle of the Shepherd.
I believe it's beasts and many things.
Oh, okay. So I was thinking of Speech of the Woods. So, as much as it's called Speech of the Woods, that does not apply to plants. Somehow.
No,
Crazy.
unfortunately. Unless you want to say, oh, I can.
Well, luckily for you, I was just gonna use that for a jumping off point for something else. But, do you say anything as you place your hand on the tree?
Probably like place my hand, just like really gently, just say I can feel your magic. Is Can you tell me what happened here?
Initially, first, only you sense the story. Your hand on the bark as you speak to this tree, this creature, you're not entirely sure, and you ask it to tell you about what happened. You can sense a shift of something, almost like the rustle of leaves against your skin as you pass by a plant. But it's the sensation of brushing against your mind. And then all of you who are in the vicinity of the house, so I'd say Alice too,
Nice.
sense a voice that comes to you in your mind in a sort of, it sounds so much like the rustle of wind through leaves, but somehow words come out of it. And you hear a woman's voice say, "Hello, little one."
Oh, I'm gonna throw up and cry and shit. I love this.
Hello there. It has been so long. Oh, you have so many friends with you. Hello. Do any of you respond or just silent?
It's in our heads, right?
Yeah.
Everyone's like, I wasn't sure how to feel about the first one. Now the second one? Ugh.
Sorry, Alice is getting this too, eh?
Yeah. Just like outside.
Fucking terrifying. Literally about to crawl into a fucking hole. Well, hello there. Are you sure this is a hole? Are you fucking positive?
Oh, yeah, God, she has no context for anything that's happening, huh?
Yeah, she has no fucking clue.
I mean, Alice might feel better knowing that Lucius has also frozen up and is hearing all of this. So, it's not like
I was gonna say,
she's the
can I
only
see
one.
Lucius?
Your voice sounds different.
Lucius is outside with Alice, so no, you cannot see him. But when no one initially responds, the tree continues. Welcome to my home. I would cook you something, but I'm afraid I don't think I can. I'm sure that Withel will bring you something. My husband is so good to the travelers who come by.
Where?
Vilra's kind of just like staring at fucking Tori, like, what did you do?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know? You're the tree person.
I just. Okay. Hi. My name's Tori. What's your name?
Oh, why, that is such a lovely name for such a lovely child. My name is Dara. I am of the family Hinmet. You are in our home, but you are welcome. Your friends. Withil says your friends.
It's lovely to meet you, Dara.
You as well, Tori.
Hi, I'm Villarin.
Hello, Vilrin.
You said Whiffle said Whiffle. Jesus, Whiffle. Whiffle said that we're friends.
Yes, he was away for a long time. I think he was confused. He stopped talking to me. But he came back a few days ago. He's here with me now and I can hear him.
Where is he?
He's in the air. He is all around us. He is home.
I'm glad that he's home. Where is home? This physical house that we're in, or is home somewhere else for you?
This is our home. It's always been our home.
I'm crying.
Wow, we are having very different reactions to this.
Everyone else terrified while Tori is like, oh, this is so sweet. I think it can be both as a treat.
Yeah.
I'm here for
It's definitely like, oh, that's cute, but also, I don't like that they're all around. Didn't like that descriptor.
Bitch, it's because he's a ghost.
Yeah, I know.
You killed him.
Fuck.
Oh, so Whittle's the husband.
Mm-hmm.
There's something in the fucking air. I bet it's in the moss. I bet it's like
Wait.
a disease.
Wait, we killed him. He called us his friend. Oh no! He came back 2 days ago. No.
Oh no. Have you. I mean, pardon the way I say this, but have you always been a tree, a plant like this?
Oh no. I was once like all of you. Mortal and walking about. My husband and I, our village was attacked. It was hurt. It was very far from here. You must understand, we were young and alone. And we decided rather than go find a different village, we thought maybe it would be safer if it was just us. No one to draw attention from the bands of ravagers and mercenaries who would search for the next gold coin. So we travelled for a very long time. My Whittle has always enjoyed the forest. He was always good with it. So we walked and we travelled and we came with our horses until we found this ravine. At first we thought it wouldn't be a good place to live. There wasn't much growth. We didn't know if we would be able to grow crops here. There wasn't anyone who lived nearby. And then the call spoke to us. It was scared of us at first. It didn't know what we were. it had never seen people like us before, people in general. But we communicated with it, and we realized that the call could make things grow. And it offered to help us. It wanted company. It had never had someone else before, only animals. So we agreed to settle nearby if it helped grow things. It didn't just make plants appear, but we would plant things and they would grow better, grow stronger, grow so healthy and bright and full of life. And that's when Emmett was born. He grew up here beside the call. And the call was kind to us. The call helped us find chickens, ducks, birds to keep and to train, and we wrote letters home to our family and told them we had found a home. But we wanted it to just be us. Just us and the call. We were happy for a very long time. But the call, it is not of this world. And it cannot help its nature. And its nature is that it has to be cared for, and we didn't know how to do that. We weren't magic folk. We just knew the woods and the crops. But we tried to help the call however we could. We tried to clean it and to feed it the way it needed to be. And sometimes it would tell us to stay away from it, that it knew it could harm us, and it was scared. It didn't want to hurt its friends. But it was our friend too, and we couldn't leave it alone. It had helped us so much. So even when it told us that it couldn't stop what was happening, we chose to stay. It tried to send us away, but we stayed. We wanted to help. And then the sickness began. I got slow. My limbs felt so heavy, so stiff. Until one day I laid down, and the next morning I wasn't able to stand back up. I wasn't scared though. The call still spoke to me. My husband still checked on me. So did Emmett. They kept me company. I was just so tired. I didn't want to get up anymore. I wasn't scared. I could still sense my family. I began to sense the plants around me. I enjoyed life in a new way. Felt the wind through my leaves. Felt the birds rest on my fingers, my branches. It was wonderful. And then Whittle, I don't think he ever really understood how happy I was. He got scared and he changed too in different ways. I think the call tried to help him, but he got scared of it and he left. And he never came back. Emmett tried to go and help the call more. Got a pickaxe, went down there to see what he could do, if he could help it find a way to stop the sickness. It was fighting it so hard, it couldn't help itself, you must understand. In the way that a bird cannot help its cravings for the sky, the call could not help that its very presence was making us sick. And it could not move itself. And Emmett never came back either. But Whittle is back now, and you're here. And now the call and I aren't alone anymore. I hope your journey was not too rough.
No, it wasn't rough at all, and you have a beautiful home here. Oh, it's very up my street. The call. Do Do they have a physical body, or did they speak to you in your mind, like as you are with us?
The call doesn't have a body. The call didn't know what it was, and we didn't know what it was either. So we simply called it the call, because it had such a strong voice. It doesn't talk much anymore. It's scared. It doesn't want to hurt more people, so it stopped calling out to people. It said that it tells the animals to try and keep people away. It doesn't want to hurt people. It knows it can make people sick if they spend too much time with it. But the call looks like a light. It feels like magic itself, and I've never been a magic person. I don't know how to use it, but it's beautiful. It's light and swirling lines and crystals that grow all around it. And it smells like the sea. I miss the sea. I miss the call.
Did you happen to see any people around here recently, or are we the first people to have come in a very long time?
The other plants, they tell me that other people have come, but they did not come to the house. They went straight to the call. But when I tried to reach out to the call to ask about it, because I knew it did not want people nearby, the call said that Emmett was helping to keep them away, to try and convince them to leave. Emmett is down there with the call still. He can't come back up. He's not able to. The call has tried to help him, but he cannot climb back up.
I see.
Is this sickness that you're talking about, is it different in every person, or is it the same? Do you know?
The sickness took decades to affect us, to take hold. And it latches on to something in your soul. It's magical in nature. I understand that much. And it latches into something in your soul and makes it bloom, makes it grow like the call does with all things around us. But the call cannot control this sickness. It is not able to. It tries to, but it can't. So it was different in each of us, but I think that's because our souls were different, each in different ways.
And so being able to talk to the call is you can talk both ways, so you can call out to it and it back to you, just the same.
When I was like you, I could not reach out to the call. Only the call could reach out to us. Now I can reach out to it, call along my roots down to it and speak with it in conversation, but it doesn't do that much anymore. It doesn't want to hurt people, and I think it's sad about what happened with me and my family.
I think Tori's gonna probably turn out to everyone else and go, are we sure we want to go down the ravine?
I think we need to make sure that the people that went down there before are all right. This is what we're here for. More so, I suppose, on top of trying to figure out the nature of the rift. But this one seems, I suppose, less hostile. But that still doesn't change the fact that we would need to go after and make sure that Moon's partner is all right, and the people that were there with them.
Erland speaks up for a moment. So, just to make sure we're all on the same page, this sickness only really seems to affect people after a very prolonged period of time in this area. So presumably we and those other people are all right for now. Weren't we suspecting that this was possibly a fault? A planar fault? Planar faults don't talk. They're not... They can cause things like this to happen. They gesture to, like, the moss. Planar faults, if they're connected with, say, someplace like the Feywild, can cause exaggerated and improved growth of plants, but they don't talk. They don't
And how
have thoughts.
how do you know that?
I mean, I grew up in the Feywild. I know that this feels very much like similar to that sort of magic that I grew up around.
Definitely. So maybe if this is a fault, it is connected with the Feywild. However, other faults that I've encountered don't speak to people. So that's interesting. And they don't cause sicknesses like this.
Alice. Oh no, Alice is outside. Shit. Damn it.
Lamau.
Dara.
I don't think it necessarily has to be the planes themselves to be talking.
Dara, we're going to be going down into the ravine, the same one that Emmett did. And have you never been down there? Is Emmett the only one, apart from these other people who may have gone down there?
Whistle and I had gone down before, when we first came here, or when we would visit the call to try and help it, or clear it off. But Emmett had gone down there before and come back out. But I think he got stuck down there somehow. I could hear the call trying to help him, but he couldn't get out.
Do you know how he got down there and up?
We used to have a staircase. It's been a long time though, and the call tells me the staircase is gone now.
Dara, we're definitely going to go down there, and I can't say that we'll find Emmett. I know you probably want to be a family again,
I
but
do.
I can't promise, I can't guarantee anything, but if we
can
see
try.
Emmett, we can try and bring him back to you.
Please do, or at least, if you can't get back to me, tell him I love him, and Withil says to tell him he loves him too, and just tell him we miss him.
Bruh.
We can do that.
Did any of us have the amulet on us so that we might return it to Dara?
That's up to you guys if you have the amulet with you.
I thought you had it.
Yeah, I thought
Or would it be me?
Yeah, because you're the one who can read it.
This is true.
Yeah,
In
I
which
think Emmett
case,
kept it.
can I offer to give it back to Dara?
Go right ahead.
Oh, Dara.
Or would it
I
be
think
better to keep it so,
Oh, for the sun.
you're right, actually.
We can give it back to after. Because we're
Yeah,
or,
yeah, yeah.
coming back.
or we could just give it to the sun so even if we can't get him out, then
Yeah.
He's got something.
We could always ask me like, hey, we have this amulet. Do you think he would like it?
Yeah, okay, let's ask
Because
I'll
it might be a bad idea being like, oh yeah, this amulet that your dad had, yeah, we have it now.
Yeah, okay, I'll show Dara the amulet and say, we have something of your husband's. I wondered if we should take it down to Emmett for you.
Oh, that's Withel's amulet. Oh, he thought he had dropped it. I'm so glad to see it. That's us on there. Emmett made it for Withel. That'll make him so happy to see it again.
Okay, we'll take it down to him.
Thank you. Thank you, young one. And you get, like, Nemesis, you get the sensation of... It's not a sensation you probably have almost rarely, if ever, felt. Of a hand just lovingly coming to rest against your cheek, a thumb that swipes back and forth in a very motherly gesture, and then it pulls away.
Okay, silently acknowledge crying internally.
Mommy issues, understood.
Quail's mom.
No wonder why he wants to know Quail's mother's name.
It's Dara now.
Oh,
Quail just standing there like, huh?
the name is unlocked.
Mom?
Mother?
Mother? Mother? Apologies, mother? No.
Mother, sorry. Mother, sorry.
But you guys leave the house. Alice, you've heard most of the conversation, so you might not have heard like what the party was saying, but you at least heard everything Dara was saying, so you could get a feeling of what was going on. Just this lady monologuing into your head.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck is happening?
Oh, Alice, did you hear it too? Or wait, are we going back
Alice
outside
is-
now?
You're
Yeah.
outside?
I'm
Okay.
still outside. I'm tying knots and shit.
Oh no, man.
You know, just a daily conversation with a dead housewife.
Dead house tree.
The usual.
It's not quite dead, not fully dead.
Dead.
Something nice.
How's the rope going, Alice and Lucius?
Yeah, are you guys outside now?
Yes.
I think we would have gone
Okay,
back.
how big sexy is my rope? I've been going hard. It's good.
Roll-
You know what? I'll beat you to it. It's good.
Do me a favor and just to see, roll me a survival check.
Oh no.
Can I help?
No, you were inside.
Oh no. Okay, never mind.
You can have
Like-
advantage because Lucius was helping you.
Great. Great. That's a 22.
Hey, yo!
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, it's popping off. Between your rope, Lucius has rope. You guys have got this like hooked around this curved tree really nicely, perfect angle.
Hell yeah.
Lucius has even set up like taken off his cloak to pad the edge of the
Ooh.
ravine so the rope won't like fray as it goes down.
Ooh.
By
We've
the
got
time
this
they all
fucking
come out
rigged.
too, I'm like tied to it.
Yeah,
I'm like ready to go.
yeah. Lucius made you wait like a couple seconds more to see if everyone else was coming back out.
Literally, because I was gonna send it by myself. Oh, good, you made it back. What was that all about?
We met a very nice lady tree.
Lady Tree.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of figured. I didn't want to assume. I only heard one part of the conversation.
Oh, you heard that.
Oh, you heard it?
Yeah, unfortunately. I mean, not unfortunately. Like, she seemed pretty nice, but different.
She was lovely. She's the wife of the Not Wolf.
Oh shit. Does she know who killed her husband?
I don't think so.
You say standing nearby the tree.
Whoopsies.
But she's happy that her husband is back with her, and her son is down in a ravine, supposedly stuck. And I
Going
did
to
say
help
to
the
her,
tree.
yes, we're going to help. We're going to help Tara.
Fair enough. Well, this
How's
is ready whenever you guys are.
The ropes look great.
Thank you. I'm good at it.
Yeah,
You know, ropes.
no, that's out of character. I can't say that.
Say it.
Play it.
No, I was just gonna ask if she had a lot of practice, but that's out
Yeah.
of character, and Shosha would not say that. That's just me.
Want to find out?
I know. All right, who's going down first? I assume Alice, but
Yeah.
I'm sending
don't
it.
think- I don't think
Alice
someone
is already down before you ask.
Yeah, no, I don't think anyone else would be
you're fine.
able to even suggest.
Very fair. Lucius.
I'll catch you at the bottom.
Yeah, Lucius acts as like your, I don't know the official word, but like the person who holds the rope and gives you slack as you climb.
My minion.
Yes. But lowers you down. The shale is indeed very crumbly. If you rest your weight too long on one spot, it just like falls away. Like I can't think of there's a type of candy that's chocolate. It crumbles instantly. It's Cadbury.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like a log or something.
Yeah.
Flake.
Yeah, I know exactly
Flake,
what you're
that's
talking
the
about.
bitch.
That's
Flake.
the bitch.
I love Flake. It's so fucking good. But it is
It
like
is.
that. This rock crumbles so easily. So you do have to be like careful until Alice, you're climbing down and you grab one part and you're like, huh, this is still a bit crumbly, but it's a lot more solid than this shale that like falls apart as soon as I touch it. And then you realize from touching it that it's hot. You've grabbed a
fucking
cluster
human.
of crystals. No, it's a cluster of crystals. And you stick out your foot and you find another crystal. And you realize that the further down you go in this ravine, there's clusters of crystals coming out of the walls.
Yo, I start taking them and putting them in my pocket.
Do you have the tools?
I sure do. They're right in the front of my overalls, baby. Check the art.
I love how everyone's like, yeah, we're gonna go one by one climbing down, and then Alice just stops and is instead mining.
Alice is gonna yell up. It's a lot deeper than I thought it was. And just like, ting, 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 ting. Like, obviously you can hear it.
Oh no.
Snackies for Shoshin.
Hecky.
Snack time. Come here, baby.
Lucius, upon realizing that you're gonna be still for a bit there,
I'm
hooks
like
up.
sweating.
Yeah, hooks up like another rope to lower somebody else actually to the bottom.
Valorous is like, me next, me next.
Yeah, he'll
Downy,
lower,
downy.
he'll lower you next, and you get down faster than Alice since Alice is
Concrete.
standing there. You land in the bottom of the ravine, which has, crumbles of shale across it. It's pretty solid. And it's very, very, it's very, very dark down here. It's rather deep, and the forest above was already pretty shaded because of how thick the leaves were. But it is very dark down here, but you can, create light pretty easily. I'm pretty sure. I think you have a light spell, don't you?
We'll
Or-
find out.
I've got a light spell.
I
Don't
got
worry.
prestidigitation.
You can light a candle.
Are we all down there now?
Yeah, I'll say pretty quickly you guys can be lowered down. It's not horribly
Can-
difficult with the wonderful rope system that's been made.
Is it
Really
possible
fucking
for
good.
me to get down, or should Tori, before she goes down, ask me to stay?
Say again?
Can Moon get down the rope?
Oh, somebody can hold Moon and go down the rope. Probably Shoshin would be best, because she's the strongest. Or,
Yeah.
I guess Lucius could fly her down.
Probably ask if she wants to go down.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
Should have asked Lucian to like carry me like a little princess and then flown me down.
Moon, you don't have to waste a spell asking Moon. Moon is like crouched at the edge trying to figure out how she can get down.
Moon, do you want to go down?
She gives you a look that says yes. Yes.
Okay, I'm not strong enough to take them down. Can someone help me, please?
I would help, but my strength is -1.
Yeah. Unless Shoshin wants to do
Great.
it, Lucius will
I'll do
carry
it.
her.
Shoshin,
I got
thank
it.
you, Shoshin.
I can fireman carry a cat.
Yeah. You got an armful of kitty. She's surprisingly soft.
See,
Oh my god, that sounds so much like Undertale. Sorry.
what?
That's just the way Oliver said that sounds very much like Undertale.
Hell
My
yeah.
kitty.
Armful of kitty,
Great.
surprisingly soft. But yeah, you all get down. Alice, do you just stay on the side harvesting? Because there's more crystals at the bottom.
Oh, okay, I'm climbing down.
There are
Yeah, no,
more
like-
than you can carry.
I feel like Vilruin is like on the is at the bottom, just like you know, there's more down here. It might be easier for you to mine them.
I'm taking my time.
Right.
Is it a smart idea to be taking all of the crystals, knowing that the iron conscription almost caught you last time with the small amount that you had?
Oh, what fucking ever? They're not here now. It's fine.
They didn't catch me, so
Exactly. What they don't know can't hurt them.
Okay.
I'm gonna get arrested. Legal rocks.
Crime.
Oh no.
Yeah, I'll shimmy down.
Hell yeah. You shimmy down, Lucius flies down and alights. And there's the floor of the ravine, you know? You can't quite see the other end, but it looks like it begins to thin out after a certain point. Instantly, yes. Instantly, yes. You want Quail to be in love with you. But there doesn't seem to be anything crazy beyond the crystals themselves, which are coming out of every which crack.
Is this because I know that Shoshin said they have a light spell, but is it so dark that we can't use our dark vision?
You could use your dark vision, but keep in mind that with dark vision you see in shades of gray. So it might be
It's fine.
it can make it difficult to discern certain depth of shadow, details, color, that sort of thing. So it's
Also, some of us might not have dark vision.
crazy.
I know. I was just wondering.
Question.
Yes.
In my inventory, it says I have a lantern. Can't we just use those?
Yeah, you could like that.
Oh, I'll just light a lantern then.
PogChain.
I will cast light.
There's no point wasting a spell. Please.
It's not wasting. It's a cantrip.
Wow,
Alice.
okay.
Alice, as your
This is the white noise machine.
as your feet touch the bottom of the ravine and you kind of unhook yourself from the rope, that thrum and energy you've been feeling is just ratcheting up. Like the crystals that were on the wall were hot, yeah, but the ones that are loose in your pocket are hotter. To the point where you're starting to be like, oh, I can't touch this for more than like a second. Like, oh boy.
Ooh,
And
these pants are on
Higher.
Hey yo, something's too hot is in there. Anyways,
Yeah.
you
My ass.
you feel that's the joke. You feel this building thrum of energy like in your chest, and it feels very akin to when you're casting a spell and you're holding it for something specific to happen. This just building up surge of power and arcane energy inside of you. And you can feel it so intensely down here. Not in like a way that's giving you like bad touch, but in this way that's like, oh, okay, I need to like grab something for a second to adjust to this feeling.
Like this shit's powerful.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
And
I'm excited.
I would say the rest of you feel it to various degrees, but this is specifically arcane magic, so Alice definitely feels it the most.
Are there any loose rocks on the floor?
Crystals or rocks?
Crystals.
Wow,
Fancy
crazy. Roll investigation.
Ooh, I am not good at those.
Crazy.
Are you picking up my scraps, little boy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need them. Oh, that's a 21.
Yeah, you find some crystals about, some crumbled pieces, some that are loose enough for you to just take off the cluster.
Yeah, no, I'm kind of just slowly just like gathering.
Yeah, there's too much for you to carry completely. There's too much for Alice to carry. There's too much for all of you to carry if you all filled your arms. It is a lot.
There's a lot.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah,
I'm gonna
concrete!
take some.
You gonna get some? Yeah, pop off.
Yeah.
You take some. You can all take some if you want.
I'm
It-
okay.
It is hot to the touch, so you like pick it up and go, ooh, ooh, that's like a hot plate out of a microwave. I need to sit that down for a bit.
Oh, wait, I have
It's okay,
because
I
I
have
have
armor.
fire resistance. Can I just like hold it
420 blaze it.
normally?
I mean, you can still feel the sensation of heat. It just doesn't do damage to you.
Okay, I guess I'll offer to hold crystals for other people, but I don't want them for myself.
It's still uncomfortable, I think, for you.
Yeah. Yeah, you can still do it. You don't unlike the others who have like an instinct of when they touch something hot, they're like, "Oh, I need to let go because I'm going to have pain soon." You grab things and you're like, "What do you mean heat causes pain? Hello?"
Oh,
What?
wait, I
I'm like,
Can I-
I'm a human.
I straight up thought that I didn't have dark vision. I forgot that I have 120 feet of dark vision.
Yeah,
so I'm
'cause
actually
warlock.
better than you guys.
Can I turn to Vilren
Mhm.
and
Oh.
say, why are you so insistent on collecting so many crystals right now?
Vilren kind of like pauses, like they're probably like squatting on the ground and then like look up. I made a promise, and I don't know exactly how to fulfill it. I just know that I need to get these. So,
It's to who?
oh, you know, a friend.
A friend who needs crystals that only grow at planar faults.
Yeah, it's a really weird situation, but
Yeah, it is. Why don't you tell me more about it?
It's therapy.
I'm not really sure what they're gonna be doing with it, really. But it's going to be helpful for both them, and when they do what they need to, it's gonna be great for us too. So
Us being
the village,
Who exactly?
like the town, they're going to help protect it and everything. So,
so where are they?
hey DM, what do you mean by nat one?
I'm rolling for someone. Don't worry about it.
What do you mean?
Don't worry about it. Keep going.
Suddenly see Alice lifting off the floor. Whoa!
So what did Nessa say?
I said, if your friend wants to protect the town, where are they?
Vilren just like, oh. You're gonna laugh. That's the Why are you being so nosy suddenly? First you didn't want to know anything, and now you do?
Well, I'm just curious about why you're willing to gather armfuls of rocks which are clearly burning you.
Can Vilren be doing that thing where you like pick up dog poop so they have a bath pouch inverted and just picking it up like that?
Well, you know, Vilren, you have a lot of loose clothing on you, so I was thinking more like pulling cloth over your hand and just filling, you, like holding out your sash like a little baggie.
Trying to get to that hot plate.
Yeah.
True.
Alice's gloves.
A
Yeah?
someone. Sorry, I'm just trying to think of how to word this.
You're good.
Vilren's also kind of just like staring at the ground, like, how the fuck do I say this? If someone you knew was in kind of a sticky situation, wouldn't you want to help them?
It depends how sticky the situation is.
One where they couldn't really help themselves. Where they literally rely on people around them to get help. And they just want to have their independence back.
I suppose I would like to help. It just seems interesting to me that they need something so specific, i.e. the plane of folk crystals.
I don't really know a lot about it, but it says that it's going to help them, so who am I to really prod them about it?
I feel like I've sensed that I can't gather any more information.
That's fair.
At this point, I guess I'll just look. They're clearly burning you. Let me hold a few for you.
Vilren just like slowly, like big smile like goes across their face. You want to help me?
Help is a loose term. I'm just, yeah.
Just say yes.
Yes, give me the rocks. I'll hold them for you. Just don't hold any more rocks.
How am I supposed to give you the rocks if I'm not allowed to hold them?
You give me the rocks, and then you are no longer holding the rocks.
Okay.
Thank you.
Shoshin and Alice, as you guys are kind of picking through this, both of you, shockingly, have various forms of blind sight.
Yep.
So as you're walking about getting crystals, both of you, I'd say, just for simplicity's sake, around the same time, you step in a specific area and stop. Because your blind sight, your sense of the movement of the air around you, vibrations through the ground, etc., tells you that there is an open space below you, under this rock. And it doesn't take terribly long, especially with Shoshin taking a look, to realize this is a false bottom of the ravine. Especially going to the opposite side of the ravine and kind of looking down, there is a thin crack in which you guys are standing on is actually almost like a shelf, if that makes sense.
I have a hammer.
And there is a very thin passage down.
Oh.
It's a squeeze. Like all of you could feasibly fit, but the more broad shoulders of you would have to give a good shimmy down.
Also, Tori's absolutely fine.
Oh yeah.
How well, is this false bottom we're standing on
Mm-hmm.
like fragile? Like,
No.
could I? Oh no. Okay, then
No.
never mind.
Would you guys like to try and descend or stay in this area?
Descend.
wanna
I mean,
descend.
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 Yeah, I
Descend.
suppose there's nothing we'd like missed in this area necessarily, would there? Like, there's not that much to see, short of like it
crystals.
being. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough.
All right.
Definitely being careful at this point though, because cleaner bulbs or something resembling that.
Crazy. Imagine as you guys start to like press into this small series of tunnels. Who's going first? Just so I know. Like vague marching order, if you guys could tell me.
I'd probably go first.
I'll probably.
Okay.
I feel like I'm gonna be towards the back.
Mm.
I'm going to be a little distracted.
Fair enough.
I'll be behind
Sure.
Bill and try to push them along.
I'll go
Yeah,
wherever
like,
you
Bill is,
want
like-
me.
Kind of aware of like where you guys are going, but not very much paying attention, kind of deal.
I'll just go kind of wherever.
Okay. Okay.
I'll go second then, I guess.
You all slowly start to notice this smell, this tang of ozone in the air. You know, the smell that fills the air right after a lightning strike or right before the crackle of electricity. And there's this faint sound of waves. This slow rolling sound of waves just gently. And through the tunnels, as you guys begin to emerge, is what might have been a dark cavern, but is instead lit with this soft glow that is reflecting off of thousands of crystals. It's a treasure trove of light and faint buzzing electricity, arcane energy, and acerite. An unbelievable amount of acerite. And in the center of it all, as you all pull yourselves to your feet and look about this cavern, there is a spider web of lines and jagged cracks that seem to curl and fold and knot in on each other, perpetually turning in midair, just floating there. And every time one spiral or line seems to start to branch off too much from the others, another line of swirling galaxy reaches out and pulls it back into the cluster in this perpetual turning and growing and shrinking ball of light. And while this isn't quite it's the closest approximation I could find through Google image search. More jagged and crack-like, I'd say.
Oh, dude, this fucks.
and
I'm so horny.
here's
This is epic.
That's so
here's
cool.
the most interesting part, I'd say, specifically to one of you.
Oh,
Alice, you can see it.
Oh.
Normally your world around you is darkness. You turn in the direction of this, and you can see it. Maybe not the same way the others can see it, but you can see the magic and the energy and the cracks. It is
not me. Not me actually crying.
It is. I mean, I don't want to speak much for the rest of you, but I would. You know, I wouldn't hesitate to say this is probably one of the most breathtaking things any of you have ever seen.
Oh yeah, I'm fucking with it.
Yeah, can I pop the special eyes on? Can I turn on the eyeballs?
Sure.
They turn on.
Turn on the eyeball. Just
Like
blink.
Xbox.
and they,
It's
like,
on.
Yeah, So until I can sense anything affected by the hollow spell or the location of any celestial fiend or undead within 60 feet that's not behind total cover.
Everything.
Fair enough.
Everything pours in, comes out, is swirling around. This is a ball of the most purest form of magic. It is contained every type of magic that is possible in the entire world. So it is glowing with that and more, you can be sure. It is pure potential and the very threads of reality intersecting with each other. Not in a not in a like, oh no, demons way, but in a Shoshin can tell this senses like demons or celestials or something, because those things are made up of this. This is the base form of everything. This is maybe the closest glimpse any of you will ever have to what reality itself would look like. And it's just there in the air, curling and twining in on itself. I'm glad I looked for a long time. And
I'm walking towards it.
Pop off. You guys are standing at the top of like a lip, and there is a dip down, and this is floating up in the air, like above you guys. You have to look up to see it. But you can start to walk below it, and as you guys start, I'm so sorry, Noel, but you can listen to the recording if it's cutting out too much later. And there is a dip, and you guys come to the edge of this lip and kind of glance down. And over the buzzing noise, is the song still playing? Hello?
I think she's gone.
She's gone.
Taking a-
I'll just play it again.
Okay,
Watch me,
before we go
bitch.
on, give me 30 seconds. I just
Oh,
gotta
yeah.
grab water.
Yeah.
God, I'm thirsty, you know what I'm saying?
Very, very fair. Anyone who wants to go get water or bathroom or whatnot, pop off.
I'm gonna go pee.
Yeah, go off.
Break, piss break.
Go piss, girl.
Go piss, girl. For the British folk, what time is it right now? I'm bad at time.
36.
36.
Alright. I will not horribly keep you much longer unless you two wish to press on. We shall see.
I have no work tomorrow, so I'm good. It's just Laura.
I do have work, but I start late, but I do still have work.
Very fair, very fair. What time do you start? I want to make sure to give you enough time to sleep.
I do start at 12, so it's nice and late.
Okay. Poke jump.
We got at least 3 hours.
No.
No.
No. I shall not torture you in that form yet. No, I'm kidding.
Blessed.
Torture?
No torture, only D&D.
Imagine torturing.
Could it be me?
Couldn't be me. Boom. Wrong button. The bad time simulator.
Yeah.
I'm going to grab water super quick, but it will literally be super quick because my sink is less than 10 feet away from me.
Fuck
No
yeah!
problem.
Concrete.
Beep, 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 beep. Beep, 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 beep. Hello, I'm back.
Welcome back.
Why is Fredward not playing the song? Hello?
Me and Kyle were also having issues with Fred, when we were playing our D&D session.
Fred,
so.
you bitch. Hold on.
I can also give you a different music bot if we need it.
I have... Hold on.
Just in case they don't work.
Yeah. Hello? I wrote your command, bitch. Don't be rude to me.
Hello, I'm back. Sorry.
Welcome back.
Yeah, no, Fredbo, like, straight up, like, was like, sorry, we're gonna make an error code for every single fucking video that you put in. We're like, god damn it. It wasn't great.
Okay, I am back.
Welcome back.
I ended up having to take my makeup off because
Understandable.
I had like a tear go down my fucking face, and then it was just like black liner, and I was like, bitch!
That's so
Oh,
funny.
this bitch.
Is on fire.
Bitch got me paying her rent.
And the shit failed.
Diamonds on her neck, diamonds on her wrist.
Alright, we have everyone? Just making sure.
I think so.
I believe so.
Do we have Nora?
Yeah.
PogChamp, and we have Ned?
Yeah, hey.
PogChamp. Alright. You guys...
Number 1. Number 2.
Yeah. Literally.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh no. This is being recorded, guys. Please remember
You
this.
are all on recording.
Fuck.
One meow doesn't hurt.
Oh, it hurts me.
Yeah, hurts me as well.
But I'm doing it for you, my eager boyfriend.
But you guys come to the lip of the edge of this little area before the dip down into the rest of the cavern. And finally, through the buzz of arcane energy filling the air, you hear something else. Voices. A couple voices, in fact. Seemingly people arguing. Down at the bottom of this lip, you can see two figures. There's two figures, one on the shorter side and one of a more average height. One has a long white braid and the other one has kind of jagged, dirty blonde hair. It's kind of difficult to make out more details beyond that since they're still a bit away. But the large form that they're arguing with, kind of looks like this up in info. A large crystal being that is moving and responding. Him. Unknown name. But he is large and hulking.
And in charge.
Maybe in charge, unclear. But he is kind of standing directly below this shifting light and magic. While the other two seem to be trying to come closer, while he loudly shouts at them and like kind of waves a crystalline arm to send them back. And the two of them seem to be trying to inch closer. Tori, at your side, immediately upon seeing them, Moon perks up and is off like a shot, like running down this like crystal slope, kind of scattering the rocks right towards these two people.
Moon, don't know.
She comes bounding up, and the two of them look very surprised for a moment, and then the one with the white braid just has an arm full of cat, who seems to be very happy. And with that, the attention of the three figures are on you guys.
I T-pose nervously. No.
Can I well, approach the people, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Tori,
Specific. Oh, go ahead.
no, go on.
Oh, specifically the one with the white braid,
Mm-hmm.
and say, so you arrived at your meeting, I see.
There's a long white braid. There's dark clothes. There's huge goggles, and there is a lower face mask that's kind of a frosty pale blue. That, wow, crazy. Kind of looks like this. Almost like I'm working on it or something. Slowly but surely.
So valid. I adore you, King.
Thank you. And she kind of glances over at you, and doesn't really respond. Glances down at Moon and then over at the other figure. Who? Where is that one? There's that one. My art is even less done for that one, so I'm just gonna grab the reference image.
Oh.
It is a woman with like short, jagged, dirty blonde hair, and wearing this skull-like mask that looks akin to like a feline skull. And the two kind of exchange a look, and then the one with the cat skull glances over at you guys. And who are all of you?
We're Moon's friends.
Right. Well, we're kind of taking care of some business here. And she stops. And you hear her just go, Lucius, what the fuck are you doing here?
No. I'm gonna look over at Lucius with like murder in my eyes.
This bitch.
He gives like a friendly wave, but Nemesis, knowing your friend, you can see like the uneasy set of his shoulders. Not like he doesn't like this person, but like he's unsure. He's very unsure of how this is gonna pan out. Hey, Havoc, long time no see. What are you doing here?
Vilrun's gonna like lean over to Tori and just like, their name's Havoc, that's the coolest thing I've ever fucking heard.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Let me also get her picture reference.
What did Tori say?
She just said, yeah, that's really cool. But also, Tori straight as soon as me ran off, and they looked up. She
Wait, what?
ran. She ran and hid behind Erlen, like straight away.
Oh, can I inside check that?
Yeah, if you want. I see you, Meg.
That is insight 13.
Yeah, what does Vilrun glean from that, Tori?
What, for me running and hiding?
Yeah.
Like, is it because you know them, or is it because you're just intimidated by them?
Just the whole situation is very intimidating.
Okay.
And
no.
if Tori could, she would definitely want to leave right now. Just because it's...
Uncomfortable?
Yes.
Okay, interesting.
But Havoc kind of glances over at Lucius and then back towards this large crystal creature. Listen, bud. We need to get this figured out. Me and my companion here have things we need to get done. We've been due back home for a while now. We've been going back and forth. We haven't come to an agreement. Listen, we just need to take a look at this, what you're calling the call. We need to take a look at it. We just need to make some notes for our buddies who specialize in this. And who knows, maybe we could help you out.
Oh,
We'll get you back to yourself.
Oh, go ahead.
Back to yourself.
I think I know who this is. I think this is Emmett.
I was just about to say that.
I think that's Emmett, and I think the ranger duo are with the researcher, the one who got really.
Oh, yeah.
This is probably really dumb. I want to call out and ask if it's Emmett, because then he'll like us better, hopefully. I want him to be on our side because I don't think this is gonna go well.
Emmett, your mom says hi.
Yeah, no, literally. Sorry to interrupt. Emmett, is that you?
The crystalline creature kind of straightens up for a moment. My name is Emmett. Who are you? Why do you know my name?
We're actually
Your mom.
we're actually just talking with your mom up there. She loves you. She just wanted to tell, for us to pass on. She loves you very dearly. We also, Withel, your father, also loves you very dearly.
If this is some sort of trick or manipulation tactic, it is not welcomed. I stand firm in my resolve.
Okay, we have no idea who the fuck those people are. We're just here to deliver a message and make sure that you're all right. Hey,
can I get the amulet from Nemesis?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Hey, Nemesis, do you still have the thing? Please, before I get
happening.
Yes, I'm gonna wait. How large is Emmett? How tall is this man?
Oh, huge. Fucking
is he? Can I shake his hand, or is he way too massive for that?
No, he does not have hands.
No hands.
Okay.
No fingies.
I'm going
on this
to.
Man.
Oh, no fingies.
No hands.
I'm just gonna.
Bruh.
I guess I'll approach him and say, "We have the locket that you made for your father, and we thought we should return it to you. Your mother said that you'd like that very much."
We heard that you kind of got stuck down here, so we made a promise to your mom to check up on you.
He considers you guys for a long moment, and then replies, "The call tells me that you speak the truth. I cannot take this gift from you, but I appreciate it."
Why can't you take it?
He wordlessly holds up just his block of crystal arm with no fingers.
Is there? Can I see if there's a point on him, where I can tie this amulet to, so that he may have it?
Yeah, sure. There's a particularly long point of shard of crystal that points out of the center of his chest. You could tie it to that.
I guess I'll offer to do that before just doing it.
He agrees.
Oh, nice. I guess I'll get up there and tie it on for him.
He seems to consider it for a moment and then considers you, just looking down at you with this almost crack through the crystals and just the faint light of eyes behind it. I appreciate this. So, you all are not with these interlopers?
Oh, absolutely not. We just met their cat and really, really liked the cat.
This Havoc woman kind of straightens up. Listen, I don't know who you guys are. We're here in negotiations with our friend here.
What are you negotiating? Seems not going very well.
Yeah, sometimes negotiating businesses don't go great. People don't always see eye to eye. It happens in the real world. Now,
I'm going to fight.
Because talking to this person, listen here, twink.
Listen here, twink.
Fucking busy.
You're literally interrupting me. But Havoc turns back to Emmett. Emmett, listen. We can do what we promised. We can widen that tunnel so you can get back out, get you back up to your home. We have people who are properly able to care for this planar fault, who are able to prune it so that this sickness doesn't happen again. I'm telling you, I promise we've done this before. And Emmett cuts back in. No, the sickness will spread. I have sworn to keep the call safe, and I will not allow others to fall victim to what it cannot help. And at this point, the other woman, the drow woman, cuts in. Listen, I really appreciate what you're trying to do here. It's a good-hearted and honest attempt. You're doing the right thing. However, we work with specialists in this kind of thing who can take care of the fault, help it to not only hurt others, but to actually take care of it so that it's not in pain. You don't want it in pain anymore, do you?
Oh my god, she is so condescending.
Kind of
I would like to-
shifts a bit more.
Can I insight check her?
Yeah, go
Also,
ahead.
check.
I also-
I'm
Yeah.
sus as fuck.
This is girl boss shit.
All right, so that's a
21 here.
dirty
Yeah,
20.
13.
Nemesis is just there like, huh? But Vilren and Shoshin, both of them are being extremely honest. There is not a shred of a lie to anything either of them are saying. They both seem frustrated, and from the comments they've made, you'd guess that they've been trying to convince Emmett of this for a while. According to Moon, they've been gone more days, multiple, than they should. So presumably they've had this conversation with him quite a lot. If anything, Emmett seems to be the stubborn one who isn't listening to what they're saying. And is refusing to budge in any form.
Can I turn to Lucius quickly and say, Lucius, are these people to be trusted?
He kind of glances over at them and says, absolutely. Like his
Oh,
answer is instant. And then he
I roll
glances
my eyes
down
because I
at
wanted him to say no.
he glances down at you and says in a low voice, not like a whisper like it's secret, but more, not announcing it to everyone, says, Havoc is sort of the informal, unofficial leader of the Faceless.
Pick me, choose me.
Megan, Al's going through her horror arc. I love that for her.
Literally.
No, Megan just knows
it's not
things.
an arc.
Megan knows
It's a
things.
lifestyle.
Fair enough, I
Yeah.
respect you.
I know a lot of things.
Yeah,
Just
you know
kidding.
how it is sometimes. Can I go and try and talk to them, the faceless people,
Mm-hmm.
and just ask, I see more or less what you're trying to do here. What would be the difference between, or I suppose, how much have you seen at this point of the sickness from the call here spreading, considering all of the effects we've seen of it externally have been more or less self-contained?
You're saying this to the two ladies?
Yeah.
Havoc kind of tilts her head a bit, and it's a bit jarring to not be able to see, like, eye expressions and stuff, but you can see her mouth and you can see her body language, so you can read her decently. But she says, we might not have seen a lot of this one specifically, but we have dealt with very big faults that are out of control before. Alright? We've seen this sort of sickness shows up differently every time. Planar faults. This type of planar fault specifically, if you look, and she points up towards the shifting light, there are multiple in there. A planar fault is usually just a singular crack. Look at that. Can you even guess how many there are in there? I can't.
There's at least 3.
Got that one. You got that one, kid. But
Well,
in a
I-
case like that, where there is multiple intersecting and twining in on each other, you can literally watch and see now how they pull each other in and keep it from expanding too much. In many ways, that is ideal, because the issue with most planar faults is they continue to expand and they create stuff like cracks. They create danger. They create like what's happening in Hildegrand.
you're currently
But-
speaking to someone who does have experience with this.
Fair enough. But the thing about multiple ones like this is they keep each other from expanding. That's a good thing. The issue, though, is that then that means the energy just keeps building and building and building, and it affects the environment around it, the land, people who spend too much time around it. I may not have seen these specific cases before, but I have seen many, many other things like this. We have people who know how to deal with it, how to care for it in the day-to-day. We have specialists. I just need to take a closer look at it, try to record what readings we can, and send them back to our specialists, who will then come here and care for it. Right now, our main specialist is trying to help in Hildegrand to solve that issue, and then she's going to come here and help us with this one.
I believe we met, yes.
You've met Burst? Lovely.
Yeah.
She's my right-hand woman.
So you're the lead?
We don't really have a leader. We're not really that kind of thing. We're a group of like-minded people. But I guess you could say I am the person who usually is turned to make decisions.
Yeah, I'm the
I-
rat that makes all of the rules.
Can I just wait? Erlen's here, right?
Erland is here. Erland is dead silent.
I'm gonna turn to Erlen and say, "Is this true?"
Erland is in the back of the group and then shifts. And Shoshin, you're very good at reading body language. You can see hostility crawl up Havoc at realizing that Erland is there.
Oh no.
You rat! You rat! You left us!
Go off, bitch! Break his back, bitch!
Erland shrinks
Kick
back
his
a bit.
ass.
You, Havoc, listen. You know how to contact me. You can send pigeons. I've been getting your letters. I needed time with my family. I needed time away. And Havoc, like, you may not be able to see her eyes, but she's fucking glaring them down.
It's the vibe.
We'll talk about this later. You backed out of a fucking promise. You swore to me. We're gonna talk about this later, Sharp. And she turns back to Emma.
Lord.
Hey, yo!
Everyone just going feral.
That's what it took to get Laura to like Havoc.
Oh my god. Poor Emil. Poor Em. Poor baby. No context for this man.
No, he knows what was going to happen.
Okay.
Okay. Well, as for the matter at hand here, it shouldn't cause any type of. You're not intending to harm anything here, are you? Which
No.
I suppose. Well, okay. I suppose it would be good to speak to Emmett here as far as trying to see what might be a reassurance to him. Ideally, in this situation, people don't get hurt.
Go ahead. Sorry.
That's all I was going to say.
Havoc refocuses on Emmett. Listen, these folks get it. Apparently they're with your mom. We only want what's best for not only you, for the call, but for anyone. It's dangerous right now, and I know it most likely doesn't want to be dangerous. So we can help that. I have specialists. Something like this needs something this big, this powerful, needs round the clock attention to keep it healthy and the land around it healthy. I have people who can do that. Acerite in particular, and she gestures to the crystals all around, is, yes, a valuable resource, but it is dangerous in the wrong hands. I can call in people who will take care of this, who will make sure it doesn't fall into the wrong hands, and can make use of it not only to help the call, but to help people as a whole. Emmett, just listen. You can stay here if you want. You can see everything we're doing. I'll explain every step of it to you. It'll be okay. And I need, Shoshin, you can go ahead and make a persuasion check, right now to try and assist Havoc in convincing Emmett to at least give a chance. And
7.
oh,
Nice.
lovely,
No.
lovely.
Oh no, what a shame.
Oh, this is our forte.
Very fair. What was your question, Laura? In character or out question?
Oh, out of character question.
Mhm.
Since the wolf guy, whose name I forget, spoke Abyssal, does Emmett speak Abyssal as well?
Emmett is not currently speaking Abyssal. You don't know if he
Can try.
possibly speaks Abyssal.
I'm just like, I don't know, wanting to ask him if like these people have hurt him, because I don't know if I trust them fully.
And you could ask him right in front of them.
Well, I'll ask in Abyssal, I suppose, and wish for the best.
Alright.
I do that.
Mm-hmm. Emmett kind of pauses for a moment, and then there's this slow, like, grating noise as he tilts his head at you, and responds in Abyssal, "No. They have stayed back whenever I have told them to. They have kept their distance. They have been respectful, other than listening to me telling them to leave."
Okay.
You're like looking at him, and then you glance back to the group. The woman with the white braid is looking right at you.
Oh!
Ooh, kiss me.
I give her a little wink.
You can't tell her reaction because she has a lower face mask and dark goggles, but
That's okay. It's a powerful wink. Just put that
truly,
out there.
totally.
Jesus Christ. Everyone's a
Okay.
whore.
This is true. I just wanted to see that they weren't hurting my boy.
We've known Emmett for literally 2 minutes. We would
Okay, I would die for him. I guess I can roll persuasion if Ned's.
Yeah, you can, because that would certainly be helpful in reminding him that, King, they haven't hurt you. They're just trying to help.
Okay, I'll roll persuasion. Ooh. That's gonna be a 9.
Oh boy.
Yeah, dude. Let's get it.
Boy.
This is gonna go sour really fucking fast.
Havoc rolled well, but Emmett still seems on edge, and then seems to notice something, and looks back to your group very intently. "Are you taking the crystals?"
Ooh.
Fucking Windows shut down. My pockets are full.
Yeah.
Are we not allowed to?
Have you asked, or do you intend to simply take?
Well... Oh, I guess
Finders
that's what you're-
keepers.
No!
No, I don't say that.
You had them before. You had them before.
So,
Your
Yeah,
pockets are
these-
empty.
these are
Use
mine.
this.
I
I
came
took
with
all
these.
your crystals. Oh, true.
that kind of makes sense as to what you're doing down here now. Could we keep them? Just a little bit?
It is dangerous, and it belongs to the call. The call has not given you permission.
Could you ask the call for us then?
The
I don't know
call
about-
makes its own decisions.
Okay, can I give my reasoning as to why I need it? Maybe, perhaps, you know, make it so it's not like I'm just taking it just to take it because they're pretty rocks. They are pretty rocks. They're very, very nicely made. I was just really hoping to take some because my friend really needs them to help I don't know what exactly how he's going to be doing it, but he needs it to get his independence back. He's not really doing too great right now, so he asked me to look for these. I was
I
hoping if I could take some.
I will cut you off right there, Noel.
Oh,
It doesn't take a super insightful person to tell that. You know, it's hard to tell if Emmett is like somebody who feels for your story or not. It's more understanding of your story is just flying over his head. This is
no.
this is a young teen who went down into this cave, got stuck and never got out again, and has been down here 20 plus years.
Oh
It's his fight or flight.
He is all he knows is this moral alignment he has set himself to. He is not gonna budge that easily, but I'll tell you what does happen.
Uh-oh.
It's called the call for a reason, after all. Alice.
Sorry, what?
Oh, I said it's called the call for a reason, after all.
Oh, shit.
Alice, you have been semi-tuned into this conversation, especially when Emmett addressed you guys about the crystals, but mainly you've been paying very intent attention to the swirling light above you. Supposedly that's the call. And you have been watching it and drinking it in. It is the first light. It is the most purest expression of magic ever, especially that you've ever seen. Crazy. And you hear a voice come to you on this kind of sound of rolling waves. You hear this drawn out sound, which I don't think Alice has ever heard before, but I'm sure Megan has. So it's very akin to the sound of a whale. And through this, you're somehow able to discern words. And you hear someone say to you, "Hello, little starlight. You're so entranced. Oh my. Look at you." And you hear this sound almost kind of circle around you as if it's moving around you. "Oh, you have some already, don't you? Do you come from the sea like me? You're so far from home, aren't you?"
For once in Alice's life, she is speechless. But she has shut the fuck up. Oh.
I can feel it in you. It likes you. The water, that is. It likes you.
Is this the call?
Oh, that's what they call me. I don't really know what I am. I'm of the sea, I know that. I know I don't belong here, but I can't leave here. You belong here in this world. And yet, you feel it, don't you? And you almost hear the crystals tinkle and shift. And only you hear this, but it's like they almost shift closer to you. You can feel them, don't you? You can feel their potential.
Yeah, I can.
Oh, I've never met someone like that. I know they're out there. I don't know how, but I know they're out there, and I know you're one. I know you. I know that these, my water, my crystals, I guess. I know that they would work for you. They don't work for many people. But for you, I think you could do amazing things with them. I haven't shared my magic with people, not in a long time. The last people I shared with got very hurt and very sad. But I think with you it would be different. Can I share with you?
Dude, this rock is about to give me depression.
Oh.
It's
I
not
cast
a rock.
depression. Fuck! It's the ocean. Oh, fuck. Emil's calling me.
Xavier says, I want to know.
Can we hold on for a second?
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
You're fine.
Hello? Yeah, what's up?
Hello.
What do you need? Oh, okay. Okay, will do. Okay. Okay, I will. Okay. Okay, I love you. Bye. I'm so sorry.
You're fine.
What's a stitch?
Oh, it's fine. Okay, sorry. Going
What's
back
a stitch,
to it.
Megan?
No, you're all good.
Oh, it's nothing. It's okay. Alice is gonna be very hesitant.
Mhm.
And she's gonna like sit there like, fuck? How do you know I'll be alright?
You're different than them. They didn't have it inside them. But you, oh Starlight, you have it in every part of you. In your fingers, in your toes, in your hair, and each little bendy part of your body, and in your eyes. You have it in your eyes, Starlight. The magic.
No, don't be mean to me.
I can't believe the fucking call has a foot kink. Wow.
No.
No, it's Chloe.
Fuck. Alice is just gonna like wipe her fucking hands on her pants. She's nervous.
Sweaty.
Then show me.
The rest of you hear Alice say out loud, "Then show me." And it's like everything in the room stops. Emmett is watching Alice with this strangely relieved expression. And the crystals, without moving, seem to shift, the light inside them bending and refracting in new ways. And something about Alice seems to intrinsically change. Something inside of her. And you see that the call up above you guys shifts and seems to turn towards her and react in this ripple. And some of that light reaches out for her and crosses across her. And we're going to end session with that. You guys are level 3. And, and
Yes.
Finally.
if Alice wants,
Vindication.
if Alice wants, she can take the other subclass we discussed.
Okay. I'm taking it.
You guys are level 3.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Oh my god! god! I can have my subclass.
Yeah.
Oh fuck! Hexblade. I have a
Did you
weapon!
forget, Megan?
I don't remember the name.
I'm blanking on the name too. Hold on, let me find it really quick. Let me find it really
Hold on
quick.
a sec. Look at us not knowing what we're talking about, but we're doing it anyways. Holy fuck.
PogChamp.
And here
Oh,
I
yeah.
go, another warlock buddy.
Where are they? Chronergy.
You guys remember that?
You can either choose I think you can either choose Chronergy or Graviturgy. I think they both count as schools of magic.
Okay.
It should be in your list. In your list of subclasses.
Yeah, I see Chronergy.
Ayo, pop off.
Got it.
Yeah.
I
Get it.
actually looking at the pack boons, I don't know which one I want to take.
Hey, go.
I know originally it was Hexblade, but
You can switch it up if you want.
I know, but I'm kind of like looking through them. And I'm
Cause
just like,
the genie, I think the genie pairs best with a different one. I forget which one.
the tome, the chain.
I think it's chain, but you don't have to, of course.
Oh, I don't care. I mean, I get a fucking familiar, which would be cool as fuck.
Or maybe it was tome. I'm blanking. Guys, I'm so smart.
Do you want to get back to me on that?
You're
Because
good.
I want to hear what it is.
Oh no, it's talisman.
Oh, really?
And talisman is what you originally said you were gonna take too.
Oh, right, it was.
You don't have to do that, of course, but
Yeah, I can, is it a D4 to my proficiency roll? I can add a D4.
yeah. That's
Two
the
rolls to
crystal.
ability checks.
You of course don't have to do that. The crystal can take any form you want, but
I've got level 2 spells.
And I get another sneak attack die. Yes, yes.
Let's go!
Oh my god, I can prepare second level. Yes.
Oh, the Wells of the Grave is really cool.
It is so cool.
Guys,
No
level 3,
women
this
only.
is it.
Yeah.
No women. No women at level 3.
No, I meant because Laura said I can sneak attack so many men. Only men, no women.
Only man.
Do I get? I get to learn another spell.
Hell yeah.
I don't know what to prepare. Oh my god.
And also, for those of you who are full casters, or rather can't, change your spells every night, so such as, Shoshan, Alice, and fucking Vilren, you guys can switch your spells now if you want different spells instead of the ones you had now, because you can only change your spells at level.
I think I'm pretty happy with mine still.
Hell yeah, buff
Oh,
buff.
I got none more spells, so I'm
None more.
actually no. I just got my pact. Not my pact. My what are they called? My oath spells,
Hell
also known as I commit more violence.
yeah.
Hey guys,
Mm-hmm.
I can literally make somebody re-roll their attack roll.
Yo.
Yes.
If something hits me, I can be like, try again.
You can rewind that
Reroll.
time.
I can literally go back in time.
What?
Question for Laura.
Yes.
What tiefling are you, aka what spells do you get as a tiefling?
I
What
get
kind of tiefling are ya?
so I get thaumaturgy, and at level 5 I get Hellish Rebuke, but I also have Whispers of the Dead from Phantom Rogue, which gives
So
me
you don't get darkness.
I get darkness, but like at a way high level, like super high.
Oh.
Let me check.
And also keep in mind, the only people that can see in magical darkness are me and Alice.
And me.
So you can?
Yeah, I get the warlock one, which lets me see through magical darkness.
Oh, okay. Well, that's something
Let
else.
me check.
The reason
I'm just a
why
base tiefling.
is because I can take Shadow Blade, which I do more damage if I'm a dim light. So if I just, but they're both concentration
Oh.
spells.
No,
So
I
if
get
somebody
Hellish
else
Rebuke at
does-
level 3.
If somebody else does darkness, I can go in there and fuck people up. That's my whole
Truly.
plan.
I get I was wrong. I get Darkness at 5 and Hellish Rebuke at 3.
Pop off.
You get
So
one.
I have Hellish Rebuke now, and at level 5 I get Darkness.
Okay.
And I cast with Charisma, and Charisma is I rolled 16 when I was rolling this back.
It doesn't matter because darkness, you just choose a point and then, it's a sphere of darkness.
Nice.
So hey,
I get
wanna
that at level
do that
5.
sick combo, bro?
Yes, in a few levels.
Fuck yeah.
I'm going
I gotta
to
get new
stop the
character
recording
art.
real quick.
Oh boy.